Info. We're broadcasting live from Nigerian Crescent right here in Victoria Island, Lagos. I am Maryann Okon. Jimi Disu is here in the studio, and Helen, God, our super analyst is going to be with us all day. Are you ready?
you remember what she said that, Uncle Jimi, this your job is hard though.
You know, lots of people just say, is it not just to talk? People just go there and talk.
You know, for me, we just say gist.
Well, this is the real deal. This is what we call the cuckoo. Anyway, we're giving you analysis, of course, on all of the things that are happening across the country that has built up till today. And we're looking at giving you updates from across the country and, of course, around Lagos with all our correspondents spread across the state, letting us know what's happening at the different polling units. It's a few minutes before 8 o'clock when, of course, we're supposed to be beginning to see, electoral officials. Well, we're supposed to see electoral officials at polling units coming out with all the electoral materials. But we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Don't hold your breath. Let's see what happens. We're really trying to be positive here today. But please don't sit at home. If you have a PVC and you can vote, please go out and vote. Let's go out in our numbers. We have a statement to make. Now, before we went on that break, Uncle Jimi, I was saying, how do we pick our leaders? Because it's very important. What we do, what we consider in picking our leaders, is it because we like their face? Is it because they're young? Is it because of the party that they're following? Because I always say, what is the antecedents? You don't necessarily have to be somebody who has worked with a politician. How did you do when you were a teacher, if you were a teacher? How well did you treat your staff when you were working in private, private business? Or as a business person, were you shrewd? Were you corrupt? What exactly? Because we need to do that digging before we say, yes, we want to vote for this person, even though we're not particularly able to be part of the system that throws these people up in their different political parties.
Well, what I notice is that a lot of voters don't know why they should be voting, in all honesty, and it's the narrative that poverty has brought up. Oh, he was nice to me. You have that. There was one. You remember the actor who went naked and so on and so forth because the gentleman paid
naked
his hospital. That's another story for another day. He went naked in public. But those are the things like that. There was another famous one. Who, in this particular one, he's in one party, the wife is in another, and he says because he's a nice man and he paid his medical bill. So we find people voting for the wrong reasons. Okay, we go to the same church. Oh, he's a Christian like me, he's a Muslim like me. Even if your son or your twin brother is running, and you believe that he doesn't have the wherewithal to run that job, even for his own sake, you shouldn't vote for him.
Yep.
People need to understand.
But do we have that discipline as Nigerians?
It's discipline. But
is it discipline or education? What level of education do we have? What level of awareness do we have?
Nigerians are very educated formally.
No, but you don't.
How informed? Literacy and numeracy is different from education.
No, but you don't need. You don't need. What has actually wrecked us, I think, is not education but poverty. Okay, poverty. Poverty has a way of, because you don't need to be educated to think right. I'm not one of those who believe that you did. Our ancestors are they thought right. You don't need, if people are sure, for example, the process is going to be transparent and all of that things will follow suit, then why do you want to elect your countryman? Because you think that, okay, if I need to do supply of exercise books and whatever, I can always walk up to him.
So again, it's selfish interest.
Access. You hear people saying, if this person doesn't enter, we will not know anybody there.
And the politicians themselves always throw out the narrative in their own favor. I believe, because Helen was talking about education, though in the modern state these days, it's become a necessary thing to have.
Very important.
But you can get away, in all honesty, with a certain level of education if you had common sense. Alaji Jakonde, again, we're not bringing him down. He just had a diploma in journalism. And he did well.
But he was very informed.
He was very informed.
Education is beyond literacy and numeracy.
Yes. So it's not a matter, right. So it's not a matter of, I have a PhD and whatever. These things don't. You need to study the person and his antecedents as much as you can.
Very important.
And that is where debate also then comes in. You know, it is important because.
But in the case where people feel that they're too high and mighty to show up at debates, what happens then?
Well, you know, it was just yesterday I decided to clear all the yellows so that we can start again. Otherwise, I had this mantra, you know, that said strictly that no debate, no vote. If you can't make out time to talk to me in a competitive manner that will show you up, why do you want me to cast your vote for you in a vacuum?
Did you watch the Delta debate?
I missed it, but I saw the part where Ogboru walked out of, you know.
And you want people to vote for you. That's the thing.
For you.
I think this is more about ego, the politician's ego, as opposed to service to the people. Because if you're serving me, then you know that if you're not telling me what you have to tell me, and let me be the judge, then you have no votes. I don't care about you.
Let's put it in the language that people will understand. The average politician doesn't care about voters. He cares about rigging.
That's changing.
That's it.
This electoral law.
It's this new electoral law now that has ordinarily is to snatch the ballot boxes to divide the people. That's what it is. I mean, so maybe you find that why should I go and waste my time at the debate when I've perfected the rigging plan? But I have a standing army behind me. So what are we talking about here?
Well, we have young people and the new entrants, I like to call them, and the third force in quotes to thank for this new, this new attention to voters and the importance of voters to politicians nowadays, because we've seen that flip.
See, this is my prediction. Unless we end up with a one-party state, which I fear could happen.
I don't think it will happen.
No, I hope it doesn't.
I don't think.
But I hope I'm not looking at a situation of a Nazi party as we speak. But that's the extreme. If that doesn't happen, and I hope it doesn't, like Helen said, that it won't happen. I like her faith. If it doesn't happen, but we need to cite the warnings to see that it will happen. If it doesn't happen, elections in Nigeria going forth will not be the same again.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
it will not be. 1 second. It will not be the same again. And I hope it doesn't become fire for fire in the next election. Yes, because and then of course, you know, intelligence is better than brawn. Okay, intelligence is better than brawn. Only God knows what we are going to face today. Even though we keep pleading, we want it within the ambits of the law, but we don't know. We don't know what we are going to be in for today. And our people are desperate.
Very.
People want freedom. When I say freedom, they are desperate. They want an accountable government. You know, especially the young people, and I stand with them on this. I stand with the young people. I wish I was in their age. You know, they need to take the future in their hands. I was telling them on one of the programs about 2 days ago that, look, for example, all the debts that are being piled up now, some of them will mature, ready for payment. Some get a moratorium of 10 years or so, like that. In 10 years' time, my generation will almost be wiped out. It's the young people that will come and face the repayment. So they need to get up now and prepare their future.
Well, yes, and one way to do that is to go out and vote.
Is to go out and vote.
So, Uncle Jimmy, you know, one of the things I also love about this season, this period we're in, is the advancements in technology. Do you know that as at yesterday, there are, I think I've seen like 2 alternative portals for uploading and checking results.
Yes.
So, and it's so easy, they're so user friendly.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself that this is Nigeria. The reason why I have faith in Nigeria, and I've always had faith in Nigeria, is that we have a people who are determined to change things. Sometimes they don't know how, but I think now with technology, with the openness of the world, Uncle Jimmy, in the 80s and 70s, anything could happen anywhere, and it is what they tell us that we'll believe because we did not have evidence. But now people are showing us videos all over the place of
in real time.
People are analyzing the interface to say this is what happened here, this is what happened here, this is where INEC hung their cloud. So you have all those evidence to show that, you know what, you can't tell us lies for long anymore. So what made the Nazi party last so long and all other dictatorships was time. Propaganda.
Yes.
The way they managed to manipulate the people with false information. But now, as you are bringing out one one false information, 10 other people are bringing out evidence to show that what you
But
just said is false.
ironically, though, the propaganda people are also making use of the social media.
It's fire for
you
fire.
See, but you see, what is good? It's not a good thing, but that's what it's turned out, and it's come back to haunt. That's why I said that general is still going to haunt his paymasters.
What of that apology?
One second. Well, wait, I'm coming. What has also made it imperative, with the demand for change imperative, the poverty inflicted on us by the politicians has now made us realize that we need to have a better living. Had they made life easy for us, they would have stayed in power perpetually. But you see, what they have put forward now has come back to haunt them. I was telling somebody early this morning, that I can't buy coffee. Coffee I used to buy for
Jimi.
No, it's a matter of principle. I find it difficult. I used to buy it for $7.50. It's now $4,000. Why won't I have that desire for change? I went to a restaurant yesterday. It's a nice restaurant to eat food. When they brought the bill, I felt that they should give me a bucket. Let me for how much?
You want to return the food?
I want to return the food.
A friend of mine who's Nigerian, who always comes home for at least 2-3 times a year, told me yesterday he was so bitter. He said, I almost spent 100,000 naira for food at some Calabar restaurant. And I said, well, what did you eat? Did you eat 2 persons portion? Because he used to be a rugby player, so he's big. And he said, no, I didn't eat so much. It's just ridiculous. When they brought the bill, I mean, it's not that I can't pay, but I just don't understand why food would be this expensive. And I said, well, when was the last time you visited? Because things have skyrocketed. And then I told him before he got here, I said, are you ready? Because you're going to have to buy naira. He didn't think I was serious, but then he did experience it because he had to buy naira.
Naira cash, yes.
So
but look at it. Look at me, for example. The things that push me as a full-grown adult. I went to a company called DTV in 1984. 1984 here. DTV. Cosworth. I think he's late now. God bless him. First of all, he sold me the car. He said I should take, and the company would send the payment later. As I just walked into him, I was able to do that. But that's not the gist. The gist is that I bought that car at 11,000 as a full-grown adult.
Is he a half-grown adult?
No. What I mean by full-grown adult. What I mean by full-grown adult. In fact, I was a parent. And once I'm still bubbling and everything still there, can't pay, that same car now, I want to imagine how much a brand new Passat.
We don't go there.
Let's not even talk about it.
So a lot of people have seen their lives. Look at the exchange rate.
Ridiculous.
Look at the exchange rate.
It's 745 if not 750 now.
I look at the pound. The pound is now 925.
920, 915.
915. A pound that used to be for 1,000 naira way back then, when I started with 1,000 naira, that would get you almost about 900 pounds. Wow. Now, if to buy that 945, if I want to buy 1,000 pounds, I need to drop 945,000.
This.
I don't know if it's ever occurred to anybody.
Yes, now.
Yes.
1 million now.
1 million.
Yes.
When we were young, we used to call certain persons millionaires. You could count them on your fingertips. Today, $1 million is nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. Somebody gives you $1 million, just take out 100K.
Meanwhile, legitimate earnings have not gone up in terms of wages.
The inflation
they've not gone up.
It's very bad.
So that has now stirred people. We must find another way of running our lives. And it will bit by bit.
But is that not, Uncle Jimmy? I'm so sorry. Is that not the reason why things are still going bad? Because somebody made a very sick joke about Nigerians that no matter how much you push us into the wall, we always create a space in the wall to just manage our life. But is it not the reason why we're where we are? If we keep looking for a way instead of pushing
the space
for,
you'll be able to make will not contain your finger. Your finger won't be able to go through.
I think that
we've continued to manage and made excuses for bad governance.
I disagree. We've always, as a people, we've always spoken out. As a people, we've always protested bad governance. We've always argued with the authority. I grew up seeing a lot of activism, even during the military era. What has happened in the past 24 years is that people were hopeful that things will get better. And of course, the narrative is always, oh, we are doing this, we are doing that. So there's hope. It's not like if people are just docile or that they don't want to come out or they don't want to challenge situations. But people expect that things will be done properly. But with this election, right, it's like saying this is our last chance. We can now see that what they promised us with democratic rule is not what we are getting. Therefore, we are fighting for a new independence.
I see a message here. It says that JD the alarmist has come again. He's comparing Nigeria to Hitler. That's one problem we have with the programs that we do. People don't understand the context in which you say things. It's a big problem, Helen. You think that this job is difficult? The very difficult part is getting people to, they just pick something. And they say JD is alarmist, and he said, imagine likening the situation of Nigeria to Hitler. He thought Hitler was a country self. He didn't even know what I was talking about.
Uncle Jimmy, so people, communication, right? Every time I hear you say, oh, people are hearing me wrong. When we did mass call, they thought it was the process of communication.
Yes.
When you are communicating, there's usually a lot of interference. And those interference are physical, they are tangible and intangible. So some of our unconscious bias automatically
gets in the way.
Exactly.
Yes. So you're not getting the message. You're already flogging the messenger.
You don't understand that. Look, we are just saying that Germany went into the war, First World War, because they had a politician who was manipulating people and who wanted just one story.
Let me read the next sentence. It says that JD is that I'm trying to mobilize the people because I say nobody has a monopoly of violence.
No.
I'm referring to the people. Now? I'm referring to those who are perpetrating violence. So you can see where the problem of this country also is. I'm referring to the people who are perpetrating violence to let them know that nobody has a monopoly of violence. And it is the truth. So what are we supposed to do? Sit back and let thugs run over us all the time? I mean, nobody does that. You might as well give the government to these people to run. But because where does the logic come from? Let's look at it this way. Why should anybody want to snatch a ballot box? For what? In some countries, it's treasonable. Why would you want to? Can you imagine an election where somebody would want to grab the ballot box for what?
Uncle Jimmy will pass it. America was like this. I don't know.
It took 100 years for them to get to where they are today.
I've watched movies where in America they were snatching ballot boxes.
I mean, what they did at the Capitol is just as bad anyway. And
it changed. So we are in the process of change. Remember what I keep saying about national cultures. We are short-term thinking people. We don't see the long-term. People don't see that what is happening this year is a precursor to what's a better tomorrow.
I mean,
because now we have woken up to our responsibility of being actively involved in elections. I'll tell you, the past 3 elections, I didn't vote.
You're passive.
This was the first time I'm voting since 1999.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, in that sense, let me ask you, from your experience in the presidential election, did you vote during that one?
Yes, I did.
So you are still encouraged to vote today?
Oh, yes, because my polling booth was peaceful and I saw a crowd. The last time I saw such a crowd was in 1993 when we were going to vote for Abiola. See the queue, the way that then I was in Mushin. See the pushing, see the crowd. You can imagine the crowd that was in a Mushin area. See the crowd, but everybody wanted to vote and we all queued behind us.
Should we go back to Operation A4?
Operation A4 is not advisable for Nigeria that we are now. No, I beg.
Instead of starting the ballot board, they start the people.
Rather, let's make the process transparent. And part of why a lot of people came out to vote this year was because of the assurances we got from INEC that the results will be uploaded online real time.
INEC will be a segment on this show today. We're going to talk about INEC later on the show, and the heightened expectations that Nigerians got while in preparations to this. The fact that we pushed for the Electoral Act of 2022 to be signed into law. It sat on Mr. President's table for quite a while. It took a lot of people like-minded Nigerians to keep pushing and mounting pressure on Mr. President to sign it into law. So for all of this to have happened in a space of 2 days after, on the election day and after election day, is of course making a mess of all the pressure that we put on Mr. President. But we're going to go into the messages that you're sending to us. Don't forget, we're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info 99.3. We are live on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3. The mandate, so you can send us messages on the live feed. On Twitter, use the hashtag the mandate. Okay, on Twitter we're at Nigeria Info FM. You can send us WhatsApp messages. Would like to hear from you. In a bit we will start getting responses and feelers from our reporters who are out in the field. But let's go to some of the messages that we are getting from you this morning. Somebody says, we thank God for a brand new day. We're getting ready to go and vote, irrespective of the threats and uncertainties of the ruling party and government touts and urchins to make our people not vote, particularly in Lagos State. We are determined to exercise our civic rights by voting. Okay. This one says, not voting is encouraging things that we detest. To continue without sacrifice, there will be no celebration. Let us watch and pray for peace. Let's make sure you vote today. God bless you. You didn't give us your name. Okay, Marcel. Thank you very much for your message, Marcel. Very encouraging. This one says, don't forget that as currently packaged, the electoral law only allows party logos, or only party logos are fielded on the ballot papers. Only the parties, not the candidates, are recognized by laws as owners of votes casted. I don't know what that person is responding to.
Maybe because we're talking about what kind of person should you.
Oh yes, you should vote for. But of course, it's your duty to know who that party is fielding, so that you know that, okay, I'm voting for this party because this person has so and so character, and I trust that he's going to deliver. Somebody here says it's painful that we're in a country that has degenerated to. It's painful what the country has degenerated to now. It has been supported by the political class and also supported by elders in society who did not speak against the decadence. The youth will continue with this rot because the African elder does not want to progress Africa, especially Nigeria. Adam sent us this message. This one says we should call out the numbers. Okay, 0700 993 993 993. That's 0700 993 993 993. You could try. Okay, this person says. Okay. I don't understand your message. A lot of people are just reacting to a few things. It's some of the things we've said, but then I can't piece them together.
No, some of them actually you have to. You look at the name of the person and then translate it into the person's local language.
This one says, I'm on the island right now and took time to speak with a friend who does business there. He said the lead area boy told them to come and stay in front of their shops today or risk losing their shops.
Jesus.
This is a way to ensure they do not vote in their area of residence. Too bad.
Wow.
Vincent, we need to be able to authenticate this. So if you're on the island and you own a business and you're listening to us right now, have you been told by anybody to go to your shop today? Because normally on election day, people are told to go and vote,
Well, the level of intimidation is worrying. And it's a pity that no concrete statement was made by the powers that be, and also no attempt has been visibly made to dissuade these people from doing so. I saw the video that you saw there, sacrifices and so on being made. The level of intimidation, Helen, is very, very worrying. It's very, very worrying. What does that? What do you think that means? Is it because the rigging plan is not as easy as it used to be? Therefore, politicians have now resorted to intimidation.
So I would say two things. One is voter suppression has always been a strategy of politicians to dominate. Yes. So what we are seeing here is a more aggressive form of voter suppression. Meaning I'm coming to tell you outright that vote for me or else, or don't vote or else, So we were just seeing the attempt to suppress the votes because it appears that we are likely to have a free and fair and transparent election. Therefore, if you know the areas where you are likely to score the least and you have the power to suppress votes in that area, what you're going to try and do is to suppress votes, especially from people that you know may not vote for you. So you will suppress their votes. And then the other thing is, it reminds me of elections in the US, where there was obvious voter suppression by changing polling units, by asking for identification, by just changing the rules so that a lot of people would not be able to vote. So that's what we are seeing here. So we cannot fight. We don't know whether if we fight we'll be protected. So let's just get them not to come out and vote. But you know, one of the things, again, I'm not a cross-side optimist. I'm a realist. But I'm also fortunate to be a student of history, and I love political economy. So when you look at societies that have developed, all the places that we are jackpying to now, a lot of them went through this process. People fought for democracy. People agitated for things to change. People saw injustice, they saw oppression, and they stood up against it. And for me, what I love about what is happening now is we are able to speak. We are not just speaking, we also have evidence to make those advocacies. So it's a process, you know. In Nigeria, we have a short-term orientation. We want it to just change today. That's not how the world developed.
Do you think that we also have a high level of what I would call brainwashing? Because if you
we're susceptible,
somewhat to, you know, they just follow some agenda that a politician throws at them, and then they have a mindset.
Uncle Jimi, that's across the world. There's a blind following everywhere in the world. We saw the followers of the Trump administration,
January 6th.
and the birthing of the post-truth era. It was a group of people who followed him. We saw what happened at the Capitol. So I think it's a worldwide phenomenon. I beg your pardon.
So
there are people who are susceptible to these kinds of things. This is what we have to
live with the social media.
Unfortunately, but that's why traditional media and some people who I like that traditional media is also domiciled on social media, so we're there to counter. That's why we're teaching people to reverse search on Google, whether it's a video, whether it's a picture, because, and again, we're in an era of deep fakes where AI has gone to extents of manipulating videos to make it look like it's you, to manipulate audio to make it sound like it's you. So that's why traditional media is there, and that's why there are experts like us who can clearly look at something and say this is fake.
Okay, I'll give you an example. Talking of videos, all of a sudden some videos surfaced with one of the candidates as a mechanic, hairdresser, as a vulcanizer, as a cook. So there was a bit of fun. And initially, let me be honest with you, I got caught out with the hairdressing one. I said, why would this man do this? I didn't think it through. Then by the time I now saw the vulcanizer, whatever, I said, come on.
The most recent is the dispatch rider.
It's a dispatch rider. But there's also one of the presidential candidate and the gubernatorial candidate. The presidential candidate is Obi. Obi has about 8 bottles of the green bottles in front of him. And Gbadebo has about 4 or 5 dark. The meat in the plate was this.
So these are manipulations, and it's very easy. Okay, for example, Dino Malai posted a video last night about certain thugs, election thugs, being caught with charms and guns, and said, "Oh, this happened in Lagos." But because of the person that I am, and then of course there are people who think like me, who went to do a reverse search on that video, they realized that this was a video from some years ago, where I think it was Osun State or Ogun State election, one of those. You know, so, but then there are people who are already commenting to say, "Oh yes, they met their Waterloo, blah blah blah." So we need both emotional intelligence and, of course, presence of mind when we watch these videos. Don't let your biases, just as you said, don't let your biases come to play. Think first. how authentic is this video? You have to be critical of every single information that comes your way. I love what WhatsApp is doing. So you can tell if a message has been forwarded 1,000 times. So you can also tell if that message just came to you immediately. If it's a forwarded message, you need to authentic. I've literally drummed that into the minds of my family members. So what they do now is when they get information, they forward it to me to say, is it
Not
authentic? But tell me, is it true?
Tell me.
So it's very important that we do this. You know, we drum it into the ears of our family members, because you see, there's nobody that forwards messages more than our parents. You're like,
excuse me.
I'm not your parent.
Excuse
you're
me,
my daddy.
Maryann.
No, but I'm saying,
Uncle Jimmy can be your daddy, not be me.
okay, my auntie.
Why not?
No, she's my auntie, my hot
Two of
auntie.
us fit Bonham.
No, not be me and you.
No, she can't.
How?
She can't. No.
I can't.
I'm on the 4th floor by October, so she can't have me.
If you're on the 4th floor, what floor do you
I'm not a child bride.
Pun intended. No, but on a serious note, people who are not as young as us, who know how tech works and all of that, are very susceptible to these fake news, fake information. And we have to keep drumming it. WhatsApp is making sure that there's more education as to when you receive a message. They're putting ads out there, they're infomercials. And I like that even the media is doing its job. When an information comes, don't be in a hurry to print it. Don't be in a hurry to break the story. We ask questions. We need to get down to the matter. I know that, you know, some media houses want to be the first to break the story. The big stories live here, blah, blah, blah. But how much information do you have on that story before you break it? Are you more interested in sensationalizing? Oh my God!
Sensational journalism.
Yes.
Take water.
Or are you interested in the meat of the story and how it would affect the people that you're about to churn this story out to? So these are the things. The media is not left out of it, Uncle Jimmy. Social media, yes, is a place that we have to be careful and wary of.
You can say all this to me because my coach is in Ghana. My coach is in Ghana. Had my coach been here, we would have done fire for fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, there's something about the media that I wanted to talk about, and I'm glad you landed there. The media has a very huge responsibility.
Yes.
And that responsibility goes beyond just presenting the facts. It also includes shaping public opinion.
Absolutely.
I remember growing up in those days, we used to hear things like, the door of success opens to those who push others, work hard, and all of that. We used to hear things about the way you should behave, about how, you know, I can't remember some of them, but I know I heard a lot of things on radio. Journalists present not just the facts, but they also improve the quality of education we get.
Yes.
So knowing that we have a broken educational system, what kind of things are people teaching in school? Do you know the things they are teaching in school are outdated? Sometimes
our curriculum needs to be reviewed.
When I look at my son's books, I'm like, what are you going to do with this in life? Are they still teaching you this kind of thing? It's useless. And he's like, Mommy, please let me read it. So I need to pass my exam. I cannot write what
we're all studying to pass as opposed to shaping our lives.
So this is my own child who goes to a good school. What do you imagine they are teaching people in public schools?
Let's not
right? What's the quality of content? So that's where the problem starts from. We're not even taught to think critically. So critical thinking, there's something called 21st century skills. Yeah. Critical thinking, communication, collaboration. There is called 7 C's. These things are missing. So a lot of the things we are seeing now is a function of the society we have become, both formal and informal education. So we have to take a holistic look at solving our problem.
Okay, is there a way, Maryann, that we can get feedback from our listeners?
Yes, we will. We're about to open the phone lines, but first, I just
you can tell us what's going on.
Yes, but first and foremost, some of our correspondents are already out in the field.
Oh, fantastic!
We've got information that in Gadama Primary School of Kumbotso local government area in Kano State, voting commenced exactly at 8 a.m. We must applaud INEC. I'm seeing pictures of people being accredited and getting ready to vote. Also at 8:12 a.m., accreditation and voting had begun at Unit 007 Housing Estate in Onitsha, which is also an applause for INEC in Onitsha is in Anambra State. Yes. I'm seeing videos and pictures. Also, 8:22 a.m., room Okoro Ward 7, Unit 10 and 12. The polling units have finished setting up, but voters are yet to turn up.
Where? That's Rivers.
In River State.
Yeah.
That's Port Harcourt, actually. This is Ward 13, Unit 15, Alu, in Ikore local government, still in River State. 8:22, election materials and INEC officials have not arrived. A video was taken at CPS Okoro Nodo, Room Okoro Obio Akpo local government area, River State. They arrived at 7:45 a.m. That's the reporter. They spoke to the SPO off record, who said the electoral materials arrived around 12 midnight when sorting started, and the ad hoc staff were retrained, given reorientation till this morning, when they are fed and set off around 7 a.m. The rowdiness experienced on February 25th wasn't observed in that polling unit, and they say election would start at 8:30.
Do you think voter turnout will be less this time around?
It's a hard one to call because between last week and this week, there's been a turnaround of sorts in the mindset of people. You know, a couple of us had started becoming motivational speakers and counselors because the truth is, a lot of people felt, they felt misled. I've heard people call me and say, but you and Sheriff, you told us to collect PVC to go and vote, that the voting, but look at what happened. So we had to exactly. It's all of a sudden it's my fault that INEC didn't do its job. But unfortunately, this is how the people hold you. They hold you in high esteem. They trust you. They believe you. Unfortunately, INEC let us down at some point, but then we were able to re-engineer the mindsets of a few people, and there's been a turnaround of sorts, and they're saying, well, okay, let's go out and vote. We'll not sit at home because we'll not give them what they want. But what's the percentage? Now we can't actually say, what the percentage is.
But by midday, you would know.
No.
By midday, you would know. Because honestly, I was in that boat. I'll tell you the truth. No, really. Even before you invited me, I was like, okay, so if we vote and they are changing the results, why should we vote? This card that I kept, if you know where I kept my voter's card there, it must not lost too. In fact, my voter's card on presidential election.
Are you talking about keeping it at home or on your person now?
Not person, Uncle Jimmy. In fact, even
so
the voter's card, I go back, go check and make sure say I carry them as they come
so it's
here.
Here now.
Here?
No.
Where is it here now?
Very precious.
Okay, it's in your bag. Okay.
We all brought our
Very
PVC.
precious.
I brought mine. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines. I need to bring Lagos and, of course, Nigerians into this conversation. 0700 993 993 993. That's 0700 993 993 993. If you're a lady, call 01 465 7190. That's 01 465 7190. You could tweet at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. Join the conversation. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. We would like to hear from you. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Maryann.
Good morning. Welcome to the mandate.
Lucky Lola from Magboro. Uncle Jimmy, I greet you.
How are you, Lucky Lola?
I'm okay. Madam Maryann, I greet you.
Hello,
yes, I'm about to step out now. But what you were discussing earlier, I was born in Lagos here, raised up in Lagos, school in Lagos. But I'm also from Delta State. That's my origin. And I speak Yoruba very well. Each time people ask me, Oga, where do you come from? Because when I hear my name, where do you come from? I tell them I'm just a Nigerian. So the issue of this tribalism and all this, I just don't know where we find ourselves. How do we get to this place? How do we find ourselves in this mess? So that somebody will come and tell you that you are not from so place, so you can't stay here. You can't get this job opportunity. I'm just confused. Going to the election now, I believe we are going to get things right.
Okay.
Nigerians are going to come out, no matter the intimidation or whatever. We are going to come out and vote for the person of our choice.
Okay. Thank you, Lucky, for calling. A very great way to start the conversation. Hello, good morning. Please turn off your radio. Turn off your radio, please. When you call us, turn off your radio. All right. It's very important, Lagos. When you call us, turn off your radio or walk away from where it is. We do not want to have that feedback. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the mandate.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Ikenna.
Go ahead, Ikenna.
Calling from Ikoyi.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm preparing actually to go cast my vote.
Okay.
I'm hoping that my people would have set up so that we can actually, discharge our civic responsibility. But first, before I hang up, I must commend Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy, you're a great soul. You're a great soul.
Thank you.
You are admired. And I must tell you that I'm grateful to God for one thing, that you are alive at this moment and you will continue to live. For so many, many reasons. You are changing a whole lot of people. You are changing the narrative. If we had many more people like you, I'm sure Nigeria will be better for it. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Helen and Maryann.
Thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it. Well, we have AY calling us on Skype. Let's take that call. Hello, AY. Good morning. Where are you calling us from?
Good morning. How are you? I'm calling from Texas here.
All right, AY, go ahead.
Yeah. Carlos, sir.
Morning. How are you?
Yes, sir. I just want to chip in some things on the discussion over there. Now, just like you said, sir, you said it is innate in every human being to break the law, even where the system is working. But look, here, where the system is working, people break laws here. They run red lights. They do like before. There's camera in all the traffic light, but I don't know. The government they just say they should just remove all the camera, and ever since they remove all the cameras here, the major thing that cause crashes here is people running red lights. Every day you see crashes on the road. You see people running red light. It is not only in Nigeria. The only thing here they don't do is they don't take one way. But running red lights, it's very, very common here. You see all of them running red light. So people, it is common in people to break law. I don't know what is whether we should beg God to change everything all of at the same time. I don't even know. Yes, because when you look at here, that you see that people here, you don't need to do all those things. So no, you can't do this, but you see them doing it.
Okay.
And every time I see it, it makes me remember Nigeria. That this is what we used to do in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, AY, for calling. We appreciate it.
The point that I thought he was going to make ultimately is the fact that I don't know America too well. Well, UK, yes, I'm familiar with. If it takes 25, if it takes 50,
they will catch you. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
There's
facial recognition.
Would you know that I still saw a newspaper report about 2 months ago on they're still trying to find out who actually initiated the killing of Kennedy?
Yes, of course.
In the 60s.
There's a whole memorial. I mean, I've been to that JFK memorial, in Texas. But the thing is, no matter how long it is, they will find you. They will
find you.
So
I look at the
running a red is not one day. Is one small thing you do. They will not remember the red light that you beat.
92-year-old they brought from the hospital on a bed.
Exactly.
92-year-old.
Exactly.
Committed during.
No matter how long it takes, you will obviously the day of reckoning will come one way or the other in those places. But when we get there, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Mandate. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mr. Akunde from Ikorodu.
Okay, please turn off your radio. I'm going to say it just one more time.
Okay. Sorry. I've lowered it. Good morning.
Morning. Don't lower it. Turn it off. Why do you want to hear yourself on the radio and be talking to us on the phone now?
It's a feel good.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm calling from Ikorodu. Yeah. I had the mission to vote today, but my wife said I should not vote because of a reason. It has been intimidation in our side. Labour Party won. And since then, it has been serious intimidation. In fact, our chairman was called by the chairman of the community and threatened that if you don't vote for them, they are going to remove us from the CDC. All those threats and all that. And we have no option than to say we will vote for them. Another intimidation is you see people, I don't know how they got to me. This your community, personally, have been attacked severally. Why should election turn to something like this? They want to force us. They say under we must make sure they win our community. This around Bayeku, yesterday, they were giving people 1,000 ticket to go and hit and all that. Whereas instead of being an enemy, and series of attack and your lot, all those kind of something is somehow discouraging. So I don't know where we are going in Nigeria. How are we going to solve this problem so that all this nonsense? So my wife said, instead of being an enemy to some people and voting against your conscience, saying that. So but
nobody's going to know who you vote for.
So he's under lock and key.
So your wife has locked you down. You're on lockdown.
Yes. Even last one, those people know how to, the way to know people you are voting for. I don't know. When you wanted to vote, they say, and you are so person, vote for us. After voting, come and see us. I said, I don't need your money. I don't need anything from anybody. That was the intimidation has been so much, even in my office.
Can I appeal to you? Can I privately appeal to you and your wife, if she's listening?
Yeah.
Ejo, go out and vote. When you finish voting, go home. Because you're the only one we're allowing to go home. Just go home quietly. Finish voting, go home. Just go and vote.
Okay.
Vote and go home. Don't stay. How about that?
Yeah. Well, we will try.
Please. Thank you very much.
Maybe you should give him an assurance that you'll be there to help him go home.
Just go out and vote and go home. Go home. Your polling unit is close to where you live, Abi.
Yes.
So vote and go back inside your house, okay? Thank you.
Thank you for the good work done.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you.
Okay, Maryann, you see, there are thousands who have this dilemma.
Yeah.
It's more prevalent in some areas other than others. But
yes.
It looks like at least one can almost say it's statewide from Lagos all the way to Ogun. The threats in Ogun are just as bad. Okay? And of course, you don't need, it's not rocket science. You need to know that it's when people are smelling defeat that it gets this bad. So, it's the responsibility of the authorities to do something about this. But that's the dilemma that we have. They're complicit. Okay? Why would you? So, even votes are being traced for to know. So, there's, the votes are being traced so they know who has cast.
But how do they get access to that?
And from where he's saying, from what he's saying, it would be in a localized community where they know themselves. I think it's very, very unfortunate that we have gotten this far. These are the things we are talking about when we say we hope it don't become a one-party state that this gentleman didn't understand and say he's raising an alarm. This is an alarm. The
fact that people are so certain they can't go out and vote.
It hasn't happened at this level.
Ever before
until now. You would have local threats, yes. And that's one of the reasons why, look at the irony. The election process that actually worked for us, we can't use. Imagine if you had option A for people who are lining up in public.
It's something we should chew on. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the mandate.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Uncle Jimmy, good morning.
Morning.
You know, when all this thing is just going on, I miss Fela so much. I miss him so much. Then again, I want to thank you for the good job you are doing, for the truth you are saying. This truth, children will come and hear it and listen to your voice. I told you yesterday saying.
We lost that conversation. Please call us back. I think that was Joy. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, sir? Where are you calling from?
For 2 years now, I'm able to get through today. Uncle Jimmy, good morning. This is your junior brother, Comrade Okon.
Comrade
Okon, where have you been? This is a man.
You thought I've traveled to Gabon?
I thought you had gone to Gabon. I said, why you go, you go leave me behind?
No, I can't leave you behind, though. I have to go alongside with you.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm teaching.
I've missed you.
Yes, Monsieur Baba Teddy.
Are you trying to send me?
I'm listening to you every morning after this, our brother, Sharif. Helen, good morning. Let me not forget to greet my better sister.
That's Comrade Akman.
She can hear you. She can hear you, Rava.
Have you seen Akpabio?
Good morning, comrade.
I've not seen Akpabio. You know, Akpabio, we are two parallel lines. We can never meet.
Comrade, are you going out to vote this morning? That's
I'm preparing. My wife is preparing food around right now. I want to eat before I leave.
And I did before song, before for worker. You come on here.
I can't get it now.
What is it conquering?
I said he's going to battle, so he has to fill his stomach.
Uncle Jimmy, I tried to get through to you that, you know, I'm a proponent supporter of the president, but at a point, you know, the campaign has stopped. Yeah. I'm voting for a new Nigeria and a new Lagos.
Okay. All right.
You should understand.
Thank you very much for calling, comrade. We appreciate it. Okay.
No, wait a minute. What was in Conquer? Is it a new meal? I thought I knew Afang Edika Ekong.
No, that's not. No. Ekong means war, means battle in my language. So we say a man cannot go to battle on an empty stomach. It's a saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why he said he was waiting for his wife to make a meal.
I thought maybe because I was going to say which one is Ekong getting?
But Ekong is a leaf. So Ekong is any leaf in my language. Okay, that's why you have a Dika Ekong. So a Dika Ekong means leaf that was that's cooked without water. Afang is a different Ekong.
But it's a leaf now.
It's Ekong too.
So it's Afang Ekong.
It's Afang. It's Ukwo.
But Maryann, you know, for Comrade Akman, I hope he's listening. If you want chop, make it chop small. For that polling booth, nothing.
Sleep.
Not even sleep. You know, in case it.
He'll be fine.
If you want to do number one or number two.
In case I chase him.
If you want to do number two.
Everybody be fine. Nobody's chasing anybody. Let's go back to the phone. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Monday. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Samuel calling from Mota.
Samuel, why you sound like you're still in bed?
This is sad.
What's wrong?
What's happened?
Uncle Jimi. Hello.
We can hear you.
I'm from Kaduna.
Yes.
I want to vote in Lagos. Mafoluku to be precise.
Okay.
I came in yesterday. About to go to my polling booth, and they were telling me there is this Uru. Uncle Jimmy, Nigeria is something else now.
Oh no, wait a minute.
Wait. I thought Oro finishes at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Why is there Oro at this? This is election day. Why would there be Oro in your area? What area is that?
Mafoluku to be precise.
Yeah, Oshodi.
How is that?
Yes.
I don't. Can you speak? Okay. So, what time was it you wanted to go, and you were told that there is Oro?
I came in late yesterday. I came in around 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So, you know, need to drop my bags and
yes.
heading back to Mafoluku. So I was asked to wait and all that. So
now you're telling me that you can't go to Mafoloku because but you're going to vote. So where you're staying, is it far from Mafoloku? That's what we want to know.
Yes, it is.
Far. I'm in it for right now as I speak to you.
Oh.
Okay, this is a logistics issue. I think it's
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. These things happen. It could have been better for him to go straight to Mafoloku and just stay there
instead of going to Ife.
Yes, going to Ife.
No, I even think you know, I'm a newspaper man. Newspaper training. I'll discard that call. Yes, I don't think it doesn't add up. Yeah,
because that's what we're saying. You should have gone straight to where you're going to vote.
No.
Knowing that movement.
The whole story doesn't add up, Maryann. I've been a reporter before. It doesn't add up. You came from Kaduna and
you went to Ife. Hello, good morning. What's up, like? Jesus, it's the mandate. Sorry, it happens.
it is hunger. You need the Kong.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? These things happen.
Good morning, Maryann.
Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning.
Good morning. Hello. My name is Chika.
All right, Chika, go ahead.
Well, I think I'm actually preparing to go and vote.
Okay.
Though, my side, it always stands. I go back to be precise.
Okay.
Because we always have this threat of vote this party, don't vote another party. But I'm resolved to go out and vote.
Good.
Like you say. Now one day came out.
Nobody would die.
Nobody would die, but at the end of the day, now one day came out. And it's actually going to be the one that will set Nigeria on the right path. So it is. But I got a call from my friend, which, if possible, you can call your media outlet and see if they have a report over there. At Ago, what's it called? Century Access to precise. My friend told me that they're about to go and vote, and they were told that they should go back. That even if they're voting APC, they should go back. That they shouldn't even near the polling unit at all. Ago, Century, bus stop, Okiki Junction. That's access to precise. That they have been told to go back home. That they shouldn't bother voting. That this one doesn't have to do with any party. That they shouldn't even go and vote at all. That is why I say, if you have your reporters out there, let them go there and see for themselves or to confirm.
So Century Access, you said?
Century Access.
Yes, I go Palace. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they were told to go back. They shouldn't even bother voting at all.
We will send our reporters, and of course we'll let the authorities, because of course the policemen are supposed to know about this. But thank you very much, Chika, for calling. I'd like to go to Facebook. Somebody says, Uncle Jimmy, presently at White Sand, Isheri, Oshun, Lagos, in the Limosho area, some group of touts with 6 Korope buses intimidating Igbos not to come out if they won't vote a certain party. Of course, also flogging them with cane. All are with face masks. Let security men come to our rescue. This is from Okorafo. Another one here says Okoki Junction off Agor Palace Way. Thugs, I'm sure he's
the same junction.
Okiki, he's misspelled it. He says thugs are colliding with police to disenfranchise electorates. Uncle Jimmy, all this never happened during the reign of President Jonathan. Ibukun Arigbede sent us this one.
Well,
so this corroborates the man's story.
The guy that called earlier.
Yes, it authenticates, and I'm not. The areas that they mentioned, are, to be honest with you, are predominantly they're occupied predominantly by Igbos. Or Kota. And it's unfortunate because this is definitely going to. It's not just going to go away after the elections, okay? And it would definitely affect the outcome of the elections. And left to me, if you have more of this spread all over, it's enough to actually to think of annulling the election. You can't eat your cake and have it. You can't deny some people from voting, and then the result favors you, and you think you're going to get away with it. And I don't think that would be allowed to happen. But we'll see how that goes. But one of them said that they were conniving with the police. And
yes.
Where are the police when you have masked men?
I think it's early in the day. It's early in the day yet, and
no, police officers should be also out there.
All the other security agencies could come in and they could still vote. Because it's just 9 o'clock, and if you and I are planning to vote,
if you're telling me this early that if I come out, you're going to be flogging me, you're going to beat me, of course you've succeeded in keeping people at home.
You see, Helen, first of all, we knew this was going to happen, and what I expected the police in Lagos to do is to patrol those areas. How if you patrol, you would have seen these guys who are masked. And in a
because they know that people will capture their faces, and so they're wearing masks this time to cover and protect their identity, unfortunately.
I want to, again, it's 9 o'clock, and I want to believe that there can still be remedy. People can still come out. If all these flashpoints are being reported, it is still possible for people to vote in spite of these disturbances. It may still be possible. Now that we are calling it out, it means that there could be some respite. The security agencies could move in, and people can still be allowed to vote.
All right, we have a reporter, Nena, who's covering that axis, but she's just sent us a message that voting has commenced in most polling units around Akoka, Lagos. However, not so many people are out there. In a bit, we will try to get Nena on the phone so that she can give us an update and let us know what exactly is happening at Agor Palace, and
So Akoka is not the same thing as Agor Palace.
Agor Palace.
Akoka is Yaba area. Agor Palace is Solo. Is between Solo and Festa.
Yes.
So she's very far away from there.
Okay, so we're going to we're hopefully going to get, because we I got information that we have somebody who is covering that. Okay, so I think it's Honora that's covering Agor Palace.
Okay.
So Honora would give us some information in a bit. But let's read some of the messages coming in. Choma Ezechukwu on our YouTube live feed says 8:53 a.m. Polling unit 027 at Jiron Primary School in Agungi. No INEC official has come. No INEC official has come. Let's go back to the phone lines. We'll take a few messages and then we'll go to WhatsApp. We'll go on Twitter. Don't forget to use the hashtag #TheMandate. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Maryann.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This Shade calling from Milasa area.
All right, Shade, go ahead. What's happening there?
Yeah, this morning I was still on my bed, so I heard this church from outside that if you know you are not voting for APC or you are an Igbo.
Wait, did you say church?
I couldn't, before I could walk outside, they've left. They were outside my estate already.
But who was it in a moving vehicle or what?
No, there were a lot of guys. I couldn't even capture any face. They woke me up on my bed with the way they were screaming. They were threatening people around.
When have we now gotten to this point?
Wow.
I don't understand.
I would be ashamed if I was the one on the ballot.
Wow. Thank you very much for calling. This is...
You see, again, I refer to that...
Can I have your attention?
Again, I refer to that young man who said, Jimi, this is raising an alarm. Isn't this enough to raise an alarm?
It's worrisome.
It's worrisome. You're bold enough to actually come out and say anybody who's not going to vote for APC, whatever, should stay back home. What? So
it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate in 2023.
That's the beginning. That's the beginning of a government of imposition.
Again, I would have hoped that the government would have been front and center. They would have jumped right in front of this to, correct this chaos before it begins to happen. I mean, it took a long time. It took a lot of dragging for the governor to come out and say, we're not the ones who are supporting the hate speech. But then we're seeing these threats in your name. If people are going about doing things in my name, I'd go on social media, because I'm not a governor, and say, well, these things that you're hearing, people are asking you for money in my name. It's not me. If somebody comes to you and says that, please deal with the person, because I did not send the person. But for a government, this should be their, what's it called? PSA on a daily. This is not us. This is not coming from us. These people are trying to malign us. We're not behind them. And this would all obviously help security agencies to get on the heels of these people. But unfortunately, that's not been done. And on election day, at a time like this, when we're supposed to be one way or the other reducing the temperature, we're heating up the polity. I mean, where are we going?
With the feeling I have is worse than the feeling I had under Abacha at the military right now. Oh, yes. Because what does democracy do? Democracy is supposed to give you free choice, even if your choice is not elected, but you can see that it was transparent. But with this is worse than having soldiers come to the street one day and tell you to go back home, and they impose some lieutenant colonel over you. I'd be ashamed to be associated with this. I would be really, really ashamed to be. In fact, I could resign as a candidate, that I'm not going to have all this. Look at what Atiku did. He refused to go to Port Harcourt. He refused to be part of your responsibility. And he said, no blood is worth shedding for my victory. He could have gone.
Yeah. Of course.
That
could have been chaos in River State.
It would have been chaos. That would have been lost.
True.
And this kind of indecent behavior, I don't understand.
It's unfortunate. We've got lots of messages. Let's just see if we can run through them. Akim from Ikpata says, I'm using this opportunity to tell people that they should not be intimidated. Go out and vote. all their threats stopped yesterday, they cannot do it again today in full glare of the public. They will be recorded.
But
Akeem, they are covering their faces. So, what do we do?
Exactly. You know, I was thinking about today, and I said to myself that this is democracy. Democracy is a government of. We were taught you do government, Uncle Jimmy.
I don't do government.
Okay, so you're not going to. But let me.
I didn't go to school at the time you went to school. In my own time, there was no government.
There was civics, wasn't there?
There was no civics.
What did you read for school?
That's none of it.
I like this sparring between both of you. Is it wait till you read for school?
She thinks that we went to school at the same time.
Okay. Oba Kunle from Abulegba says, Uncle Jimmy, please tell them to go and see Hotel Rwanda. They will understand. Hey. Please go and look for the movie. Okay. This one's from Adegoke from Lekki. He says, sometimes I get agitated when I hear stuff like America started the way we are now. What happened to learning from America's mistakes so as we don't make the same mistakes that were made by America? We learn from other people's mistakes, don't we? The problem with Nigeria is we don't want to learn. We want to jump the gun, he says.
Helen, are you worried?
I'm worried. You know. I am.
And I'll tell you where I am worried. Where this might be headed, I can't say on air.
In fact, when I'm hearing all this, I'm now thinking that do I want to go and vote?
Apart from all that,
I will vote.
If you have too much of this, then this place is going to end in all this could jolly well end in a place that is not pleasant for anybody. Both the winners and the losers and the general public.
There'll be different.
I know
different possible scenarios.
Yes. But one or two that we contemplate is not going to do us any good. What it just means is that we are not ready for democracy. If this is what is happening.
Democracy is a government of the people, by the people,
for the people.
But what we have in Nigeria is a politocracy. A government of politicians, by politicians, for politicians.
But it's messy, it's disgraceful, it's distasteful. I wonder what. I don't understand.
Because democracy is about freedom of choice. That's what we are taught. And
numbers. So may the best man win.
Look at what America said. I saw a couple of videos supposedly emanating from America saying that, they want to promote democracy and participatory democracy. So if I queued, I queued, Uncle Jimmy, the day I went to collect my voter's card, I told you now, I was on the queue for 4 hours. At some point, I started helping the INEC people because the paper was jumbled. I said, let me help you tidy this thing. I stood there. I was sweating. I was arranging paper for 4 hours. At the end of the day, the INEC woman said, everybody was looking at me, Madam, are you INEC staff? Why are you doing all this? I said, because I want the queue to move.
You're a good Nigerian. You're a patriot.
And instead of me to just stand on the queue doing nothing, let me do something.
This thing actually... like, who said we should watch Hotel Rwanda?
Somebody sent Kunle.
Yes, the optics don't look good. The optics don't look good.
We'll keep talking because you see the truth is
there's still time for change. It's just 9 o'clock. Yes. So maybe the more people call it out, the more the security agencies will step in.
The money shows the day it has been well crafted, consequences also considered. And whatever it is not likely to stop. Very unlikely.
All right. Well, we have some more messages before we go on a break. This one says, on a lighter note, the hairdressing picture of the governor was 4 years ago during his campaign, actually. Adams.
I don't know if it's a real picture. I don't know.
He said on a lighter note.
Well, recent developments have they're going to make it impossible to talk about certain persons as we're going on. I don't like anything that is indecent.
Uncle Jimmy, don't take it personal.
No, you'll take it personal. Well, what do you mean don't take it personal? My country is falling apart. My environment is falling apart. And if people are not going to be matured, if people are going to be indecent just to stay in power, then I don't want to be a party to all that. Yes, so I will take it personal and you should take it personal. Because you see, again, I keep saying this thing. Today it is this one, you don't know what is going to be tomorrow. Okay, so it's in Okota, it's far away from you. It could inch slowly. I don't know where you live, but it could inch slowly and slowly.
It's everywhere. I mean,
it's
people
everywhere.
Were shocked in Platinum. It's just when thugs came.
Okay, so
the way all these are Jabota voters.
Is that what you mean?
No. You know, I had friends
Which
who
one
were
is
actually
That's
who
former
were
Igbokushi.
sharing.
That's former Igbokushi.
I have
Opposite Jakande.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had friends who were sharing videos of what happened to them, and I was shocked. They were like, as I voted, it was peaceful. There was no wahala anyway. In fact, voting is like a carnival where I am.
Another reason why I'm worried, Ellen, is that if these guys are getting away with this during elections, it's not going to come all the way into your personal life. I hope it doesn't get to a point when some people tell you can't go home through this road, go and pass another road. It's going to come to that. This is how it starts. And it's going to haunt those who started this process. It will come back to haunt them. That's why do you think we have the problems in the north? Jimi, we're being told that most of the, what do we call them now? What do we call these? The Boko Haram and all these things. And before were people who are employed by politicians.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So what stops it from, after elections, what are these people going to eat? How are they going to earn a living?
The optics are not good.
Yes,
and the reality there is just not good.
And it's quite unfortunate if this rumor is anything to go by, that police officers, law enforcement officers, are aiding and abetting these illegal acts by hoodlums. Then of course it is a cause for concern.
Today,
do you think?
Yes.
Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think a set of 10 guys will feel bold enough to hit the road in a vehicle on a day when there should be no movement?
But Uncle Jimmy, do you know, if you know something about election day movement, when I was coming, the roads were practically empty.
Yes.
Completely empty. So you can move unfettered to any part of the city.
Madam, we all knew that area is going to be a hotspot.
So there should have been permission.
That Amuwo area. We all know.
Uncle Jimmy, you know this thing, sorry to interrupt, this thing reminds me of what you were saying yesterday, that the police was huffing and puffing.
Yeah,
and I did not blow any house down.
Yes.
Well,
is your prophecy coming true?
It's coming true. Look, you see, a lot of people don't know. They're not used to being told.
I really wish we could get SB Hyundai on the show this morning, because there's a little bit of explaining that he needs to do. Yes, of course we can, and we will do that. But right now we're being joined by Nneka Okon. She is one of our correspondents. She's going to give us some feedback as to what's happening where she is. Nneka, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Maryann.
Yes, Nena, I beg your pardon. Tell us exactly where you are and what's happening there.
Okay, so I'm at Akoka. Akoka is in Shomolu local government area of Lagos State. That is where I am now. And I've gone round about 8 polling units. Accreditation has started, voting has started in many of them. Okay. However, there are very few people out compared to the presidential elections. I wouldn't know why, but I'm hoping that with time more people come out.
Okay. All right. Well, did INEC officials come out really early or slightly early?
They came out very early, quite early.
Well, that's applaudable. Do you see security agents anywhere around, whether by the polling unit or some distances away, those who are armed?
Yeah, so most of the polling units where I went to had at least one policeman each. Almost all of them I went to, I saw one policeman sitting and just watching and observing.
Okay, all right. Nena, thank you very much. We will get back to you as time goes on to find out what's happening there, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's Nena calling us from Akoka, he said?
Yes,
she said?
Akoka, yes. That's the Yaba area.
And she said INEC officials came out early. Voting has commenced in some places. That's a plus for INEC. At least their officials are out early. I see in my estate group that they're calling for people to come out and vote. It looks like people have their morals have been dampened, and where I live, they are very posh people. And they're the ones that come with coolers and drinks and do all the niceties, and just the comfort.
Where's that?
I will never mention it on radio.
Yes.
But anyway, yes, they're calling their people to come out. I'm sure that, of course, there's some level of voter apathy there too, where people are, reluctant to come out and vote, unfortunately.
Okay, so Miriam, do you know part of why a lot of people came out on February 25th? It was because prior to that election, run up to that election, you saw Festus Okoye very, very, very vocal. You saw Mikey Guinea. In fact, I said to myself that Mikey Guinea became the unofficial INEC spokesperson because he was doing a lot of voter education. He was speaking about how beavers was impossible to penetrate, how beavers you cannot rig, how with beavers once you scan. So that's excited a lot of people, and it encouraged them to come out and vote. But now people have seen beavers fail, and they're asking themselves, why do I want to come out and vote again? So what happened on the between 27th and 29th of February was a great disservice to our electoral system.
Not just that, this brazenness, people saw it coming. You know, it's been happening before today, all these things they were doing, and actually what the general had also said. Now you can see it is happening. Yes.
Uncle Jimi, my son told me, you know, when they were doing some analysis on these voters' threats and co, my son said, Mommy, do you know, I really would like you to go and vote, but you have to make sure you protect yourself.
With what?
You see, you have to make sure you protect yourself.
So let's even be hypothetical about something. Let's assume that, which I don't think they will, but let's assume that they get away with all this. You think that to repeat it in 4 years, the same will happen?
It's history. Again, I want to refer to history. We have seen, both in Nigeria and in other parts of the world, that whenever there is an alternative to the state, it never ends well. So when I say alternative to the state, it means that
non-state
the
actors.
laws, I don't even want to use non-state actors yet in that sense. But when I say an alternative to the state, it means that you have created a new system that is different from the state. And that system does not respect the rule of law, does not respect the authority. It just runs across. So how do you govern in chaos? So it is not just about the elections. Whatever is happening now, whoever is perpetrating it should understand that after this, you're not going to be able to rein in people.
Thank you. You're speaking my mind. I always ask, when you scatter the country, which one are you governing?
Do you understand? Look at Ukraine.
I mean, Ukraine's case is a totally different.
Look
it's a totally different ballgame. But I'm just saying, if you're dividing to rule and then,
look at Sudan. Look at Congo. Look at every region that
Is
Rwanda
a black thing.
Rwanda is coming back to haunt Rwanda. What happened in Rwanda is coming back to haunt them because of their relationship with their neighbors. So there will always be leftovers. There will always be spillovers.
Well, we have our correspondent, Buchi. I'm guessing Buchi is joining us from Ajegunle. Let's see. Buchi, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Mimi. Can you hear me properly?
I can hear you loud and clear. How is Ajegunle this morning?
Ajegunle is kind of good and kind of not good.
How do you mean?
Good in the sense that people are still coming out to vote, but that in the sense that the intimidation is crazy right here in Ajegunle, no joke.
Wow.
Crazy in the sense that I was driving, I was coming, like this was exactly 7:30 a.m. And I saw some sets of cows, human men, mouth covered with guns. This is no joke. This is guns.
Guns? Did you say guns?
Yes, guns. Yes. Threatening people and saying they should not really coming out to vote for their party. Don't vote at all. This is mad. Like I can report to you right now that fully unit, especially where I am, because I drove from Tolu, I went to Wima, and I'm right now in Intimidation. Most police are just setting up right now compared to the last elections that they got set up at the time like 8:30 a.m. So they are setting up right now, and intimidation is crazy. Whether you like them or not, people is here and are gone now. So people are still coming out, just setting up. I took some pictures I sent to the group. 4 police units right now are set up, and people are queuing up to vote this morning at Jubilee. Another thing to add, at Bandi, I don't know if you know Bandi, right here in Ajegunle. I saw huge set of military. The military, with 2 cars, two trucks. By my count, I think I counted them, they were 42 standing at the junction. And I had a conversation with their leader, And I told their leader that so many things happening in terms of intimidation. Like, what are they going to do about it? And the leader was like, they are not really mandated to enter in street.
Yeah.
So they are meant to mount junctions, not to enter street. Then I asked him, was like, so how are they going to, people going to get protected in terms of them voting if the military can really walk into the streets to at least safeguard the people? And they didn't answer me. So what he was focused on mainly was to search my car and to check if I was accredited, which I was accredited. So it's not really looking that good security conscious right here in Articulate compared to the last election, the election, which I covered too. That was great. Everybody came out. The security was perfect. I think we have one or two issues, but compared to now, it's not like this. This time is looking security-wise, and I can tell you, I've been talking to some people. Don't be like saying, they don't go vote at all because their life is not really, it's not worth it.
Wow.
For them to force to come and vote and be threat about something happening to them in terms of voter intimidation.
Well, that's a very gloomy report, but thank you very much. And be safe, please.
Like, I'm very safe. Like, they told us to. No, me, not say normally I did this guy. So I came here, these guys, like, say I come to. So I come, like, that one, please.
Okay.
So, if anybody come and say, no, what I remember. I know they come vote for. And we're hoping, by the look of things, maybe in the next 1 or 2 hours, people will come out and try to. We've not seen these people that are engaged anymore. I think they left.
Okay.
They moved around for some time. For like they are walking comfortably. That's the annoying
with
thing.
Guns, wielding guns.
No
wow.
Joke. They are walking comfortably. And I've been honest, I've not really set sight on any policeman that came. And last election, we had a policeman mounted on each polling unit. But this morning, I think it was like 8 polling units, and I'm not seeing a policeman.
Wow.
So I actually don't know what's wrong. I think something needs to be done about protecting people to vote this morning right here in Articulate.
All right. Thank you very much. Buchi is our correspondent who's joining us live from at Jegunle. That's not good.
What are you looking at?
That's not good. It's not good.
So I demand an apology from Ellen to go on her knees to apologize to me for saying that I was taking it personal.
No,
I'm joking. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding.
It's
see, but you see, this is going to be an exercise in futility because the results of an election like this will be difficult to convince anybody that it will hold. If from Ajegunle to Okota to Agor, Ilasa, these kind of things are happening. How do you expect people to now believe that the results are correct?
If you're intimidating
so it has already affected the credibility of this election.
No,
this
nobody,
is an
nobody
exercise.
won't die now.
Today's whatever is an exercise in futility.
Somebody on our YouTube live, Alfred Okpanachi, says we're just wasting money holding elections in Nigeria.
Yes.
I don't want to believe that.
When I say that this thing is going to have, I need to try. I'm thinking in Yoruba this morning.
Talk am, I go translate.
He go have back.
He go get back.
He go get back.
He don't get back before.
But what I'm just trying to say is that this thing is going to have some implications, consequences that is not going to be palatable to a lot of people, including the actors in this drama.
I'm so sorry to cut in. I'm so sorry to cut in, but we have charlatans on our live feed just saying this is our Lagos. If you're not voting APC, don't come out and vote. It's happening on our live feed
right now. Yes,
on our live feed, and it's despicable. It's embarrassingly. I mean, I'm looking for the best words to describe it and not be rude. It's stupidity out in full glare.
This is not good for us.
Well, it's even more than that. If you went on radio, you probably will be hearing words you won't find in the dictionary. But the bottom line is this: the credibility of this election is gradually being put into question. That is the honest to God truth. And I just wonder how the perceived beneficiaries of all this, how they feel deep inside them, that at a time in history, a state that had been ruled by Jakonde, Marwa, this, it's during a particular tenure that all this is happening. And I keep saying that Nigerians are not fools. They know the reading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ethics don't allow us to say things as much as we want on air, but everybody knows what is happening. Everybody knows what is happening. So when I say that if care is not taken, we might be seeing a Nazi party in the making.
We're hoping that doesn't happen.
But
it
shouldn't
happen.
It
will not happen. We will not let it happen.
It doesn't get any worse than this.
We're going to go for a quick break, but I just want to read a message from Facebook. I walk by Joe. I hope I did not destroy your name. I walk by Joe.
I walk by Ju.
Is Joe?
Mbok.
Oh.
I work with Johnny. Yeah.
He says, Omotayo Michael. He says, in my area, Ifako Ijaye Ishaga, you can see all the fear around these areas.
Jesus.
Yes. Ademola here says on Facebook, election is not a do or die affair. Let people peacefully vote and maintain peaceful atmosphere.
Exactly.
And Victor Okafor says here on Facebook, this is an exercise in futility. Unfortunately, people already are being defeated in their minds because they don't think that, this elections and the votes will count. Unfortunately.
But to give the who we perceive might be the beneficiary, to give him what do you call it? Something of the doubt.
Benefit of doubt.
Benefit of the doubt. He might just be jolly well embarrassed himself.
Well, we have to go for a quick break.
Let's see how it goes.
We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
Heart of Victoria Island, you're listening to your number one station, 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Do you wish to be a commercial manager for a company, or you wish to earn well on a weekly and monthly basis? Kirby Nigeria is a multinational company, and they are offering you an opportunity to be part of their managers across Nigeria with earnings over 500,000 naira. Please note that a car is needed for this role. If you're interested, all you have to do is call the numbers 0815 705 0505. That is 0815 705 0505 or 0905 637 4258. That is 0905 637 4258.
This is an infomercial.
This is the Monday 23.
The Monday 23.
Live. This is the Monday 23.
The Monday 23.
Live.
News and trending conversations here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Don't tell people you've added weight. Why are you losing weight?
Yeah.
Eating. No, it's not your business.
That money, the pass is good. Finally.
We should be patient and pray to God that God is going to answer our prayer.
Please, this is not all about prayer. It's not like everything is not prayer. That is Nigerian mentality. If you're not finding happiness in your home, you pray.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
NS to
Oga, wetin happen? I don send a go market. I be dey owe you money.
Oga pharmacy, no be your boy I dey call jare. I dey ask for NS liver salt, ogbonge medicine wey dey comot any yamayama discomfort for person belle, whether na heartburn, constipation or even indigestion. NS liver salt get lemon, orange and other correct flavors. With NS liver salt, belle go dey balance. Oya Oga pharmacy, sama me one make I go enjoy.
NS liver salt, the ogbonge medicine where they make your belle kulele. Russian tiny pharmacy, go buy your own now.
Some are calling Group B the group of death as they beg to differ Tournament of Champions. Hamidu Olarenwaju is a past quarter-finalist and finalist and has only ever been beaten by champions. He wants revenge against Anvita Kaushik and Esther Bewaji, but first, he must make it out of this group. Redemption is also calling for Ramadan Oladipupo, the people's champion. Beaten in a controversial semi-final, he's here to prove that maybe he should have been in this group as an actual champion. But that title belongs to Ruth Okorocha. She beat the debater who beat Ramadan. Can she beat him too? Find out this March at the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions on 99.3 Nigeria Info and Wazobia Max TV.
Waste time to wash, I thought my clothes deserve the best, so why go less? You can't wash a lot with a little Viva, use Viva. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, use Viva. Viva, oh Viva, I love my Viva. Don't need no other, I love my Viva forever. Viva, oh Viva, I love my Viva. Don't need no other.
Viva detergent, a quality cleaning powder from Aspira.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
The Monday 23.
The Monday 23. Live.
It's still the mandate 23, 99.3 Nigeria Info, 29 minutes, in fact 30 minutes gone past the 9 o'clock hour, and we are still here in the studio. Jimi Disu, Maryann, Okon, Helen is in the studio here. She's our guest, of course, joining us in the analysis on election day as we are getting feelers from across the state and across the country, because we have all our correspondents from the Wazobia Info gang all across the country giving us information about polling units and what's happening today, election day. Unfortunately, some of the information that we're getting from Lagos not so palatable. Even as we are trying to get people to go out to vote, there are a group of unscrupulous elements who are trying to intimidate people and stopping them from going out to vote. And unfortunately, we don't have enough security, to get these guys in check. But will it stop you from voting today? No way. Because you know what? We're more than them.
Is it enough security, or they don't have willing security?
Well, that's a question that I cannot necessarily answer.
Maybe later in the day, from all the reports, I just walked past the newsroom now, and of course they confirmed to me that reports were coming in of things like this. I don't know. I wish we could talk to a lawyer, find out what the electoral law says about things like this, whether it could lead to annulment of the election itself.
We can talk to a lawyer.
If it's widespread.
We can talk to a constitutional lawyer. I'm going to try to see if we can do that. But I think we're being joined by one of our reporters. Uche is calling us from Ogba. That's where she's covering. Hello, Uche. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. We know that you're in Ogba. Tell us what the situation of things are in that area.
All right. First of all, I actually did go to about 5 PUs. The first is the polling unit 16, second polling unit 22, PU 23, PU 37, and PU 38. Now, what I saw in PU 16 is just people being relaxed, like the turnout is, let me say, not quite impressive. And they just have people there. They made canopy available for the voters to sit. The canopy is actually separate from the other canopy where you have the officials, doing their job and all of that. When I moved to polling unit 22, I found out that the turnout is actually very, very impressive. And this PU 22 I'm talking about is located in AY Estate here in Ogba. You get every other polling unit aside PU 22 and PU 23 turnout is not really, really impressive. Wow. Aside these two I talked about, 23 and 22. Then you have more people who are actually just hanging around. You can't tell what they are actually doing apart from, they just look like they are, discussing other issues, not really paying attention. You don't know if they are on the queue or not because they're actually far away from the usual queue, just discussing, other issues aside what they're there to do. So that's what I've observed so far around this Ogba area.
Have you tried to talk to some of the voters to ask them, why why there's a low turnout, if most of them live around the area, if they've experienced any form of intimidation, because we've gotten so many reports of that?
Okay, Maryann, at this point, all I can tell you is that for those who are serious to vote, they're actually on the queue, just focusing and minding their business. But other people who are just doing the chit-chat, by the side and all of that, seem to just be interested in what they are doing. So I have not really spoken to the people who are serious, that's the voters in question, as you have asked. I've not really spoken to them because they are all focused on what they are there to do at the time. So in terms of intimidation and whatsoever, I can't report that at the moment.
Oh, okay. The people who appear to be chatting, do they look menacing?
Do they look
menacing? Do they look like a threat to the peace?
I would like to hear that question again.
Do they look like they're a threat to the voters? The people who are hangers-on, the people who are hanging around?
Not really, Maryann. Not really. These people are just the usual. It's just like when you see people playing football instead of doing what they're supposed to do. So people just keep on your own things, looking around, talking, and just doing their stuff. They don't look like threats to me.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Uche, for giving us some update on what's happening in Ogba area. If you're in the Ogba area, please go out and vote. We hear the turnout is terrible. Where there's strength in numbers, nothing is going to make me stop telling people to go out and vote. If they like, let them bring what do they call it? Armored trucks. I mean the thugs.
You get armored trucks, so
they will not bring yourself. It. Where is it going to pass? I'm just saying they can't. The strength in numbers, Uncle Jimmy. Where's your faith?
Uncle Jimmy needs encouragement.
Here's some encouragement for you, Uncle Jimmy.
No, I'm just wondering if we didn't have our mics on, if Maryann would be talking like this. Definitely not. We're trying so hard to inspire people. But the situation is that let's be very, very fair. It's discouraging, and very few people are bold enough, to damn the consequences and face.
Uncle Jimmy, when I'm going to election vote, I won't wear this show. I go wear trainers. I go change.
I'm ready. I'm dressed for it.
No, I go. If you go election, you must be ready. Ready, sharp.
You guys live in the safer part of town.
How so?
Uncle Jimmy, the thing happen everywhere.
Uncle Jimmy, you
everywhere.
Remember
Don't you know what happened near Jakonde? Don't you know what happened near
the Legushi Palace? There was something there
my
too.
friends were sharing videos. I didn't connect because my polling unit was very peaceful. I walked all the way for 2 hours. I didn't see anything. You understand? So when my friends started sharing some of this, I'm like, in your area? They say, yes, so we went to vote. I say, yeah.
You see, because at the end of the day, when we all then wake up tomorrow going to church, what kind of people are we?
We'll pray.
How do people relate? I don't want us to take this thing in any light manner, because given an experience of what I saw in 66 and what I saw again in
93?
No, not before 93. 80, when did Buhari come
83? 83 elections?
83, what I saw. These are the kind of things that led to it, to put it bluntly. Because it's not going to go down. We'll keep agitating until an arbiter comes.
It's possible that other areas
it's going to be difficult to legitimize a government that comes out of this kind of process. It's going to be very difficult.
There are other areas.
Too many challenges.
Other areas.
Well, yes. Let's see.
Let's see what's happening from other areas.
Well, there's a lot going on our live feed. There's a lot of back and forth. Like I said, charlatans have gone on our live feed.
It's always
and then there are people who are also there are people who are also standing up to them, which is great. Somebody said that no APC can. Okay, obviously that's not for us. This one says wow, there's a lot of fighting here. Wow, a lot of fighting on our live feed. But let me go to Facebook. Okay, we have our reporter Ikechuku, who's joining us from Ikorodu. Ikechuku, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning. So what's happening in Ikorodu? Is it safe? Is it quiet? Are people coming out to vote?
Well, I will start by saying it is not relatively quiet, especially when you look at some undertone intimidations in some of the polling units I've been to. But it's been peaceful, if I may also add that, in terms of it's not been snatching or fighting yet. And but I must add that the voting started quite early as at 40 a.m. Voting had already started in Ebute, Ikorodu precisely. So I've been to a couple of polling units, 008, 0045, 92, and a couple of others. I've also been to the polling units in the Pakodo primary school. But the turnout, I must say, it's not been impressive, especially if you go by what we had as at this time on February 25th. It's not been quite impressive at all.
Wow. Have you spoken to some of the people who you see who are coming out to vote? What do you think is their driving force? Because a lot of people are intimidated and they're in their homes. They'd rather stay safe than be sorry.
So in terms of speaking with people, I have not been able to speak to people who will be on the other side of the intimidation because literally they are not out. That's what I can tell you from where I am.
Yeah, but those who are voting, have you spoken to them? What's their driving force? What's making them come out as opposed to staying indoors?
The only person I can speak with right now is the person at the polling unit 002, but the call, I was about speaking to him when the call came in, so I had to step aside. Okay. And the reason why I've not spoken with anyone particularly across where I've been to was because I've not found any reason to talk to anyone, especially in terms of the fact that the process is going on smoothly in terms of accreditation and voting. The pockets of intimidation here and there are just something you observe and you just want to move away to see how it plays out before you can do one or two about it. So it's too early for me to want to talk to people in that regard. But I can tell you that most of the people who are out to vote, from my observation, are tending towards a particular side of the whole process, especially in terms of political party affiliation and claims.
All right. Uche, Ikechukwu, thank you very much for calling and for talking to us about what's happening in your area. Now, I also have been getting messages from VGC. People have been sending me messages on Facebook, on Twitter, on our YouTube live feed saying that INEC is colluding with, the political party in power to disenfranchise voters in VGC.
Really?
Now, they're saying that the INEC officials are refusing to come into the Victoria Garden City estate. I've seen this message as early as 8 a.m. This morning. I do not understand what exactly is happening, but if you're a voter in VGC, if you can call us, please. The phone lines are open, 0700 993 993 993. That's 0700 993 993 993. What exactly is happening in VGC? We need a clearer picture, because all I see are allegations of INEC being in collusion with the party in power and of course security agencies, but we want to know what's going on in VGC. So please do us a favor and send us some messages. Let's go to Twitter quickly and read some of the messages. This one says, as at 9:40 a.m., no INEC officials at Amur 252 mega chicken polling units. Please help us call them. We need to vote. It's very essential. Miss Milan sent us that one on Twitter. This one's from Olusegun. He says, PU 102 Isheri, Oshun, Lagos just received INEC. Okay, so that's good news. This one says, okay. Voter turnout is low at Karimo Alabi Street, PU Ifako Ijaye local government area. Okay, all right. Sarowski sent us that message. I wasn't allowed to vote because I did a transfer polling unit of PVC from Anambra to Lagos State. My unit is at Deni Rogusanya College of Education. You weren't allowed to vote. Why? Where's your PVC? Did they give you a PVC? If you were given a PVC, then you have a right to vote. But if you don't have a PVC, I'm guessing that you cannot vote, unfortunately. Let's go to our Facebook Live feed. Kelvin Dejiman says, if politicians know and believe they are the preferred choice, why do they employ services of thugs to intimidate voters where they feel they will have low numbers? If elections are done free and fair, 90% of our leaders won't have succeeded to be in the position that they are now. He says, God bless Nigeria.
Okay, I was going to ask you, Maryann, whose responsibility is it now to stem the tide that we are seeing?
Oh, now, of course, the burden is now on us, the media. We didn't create the problem, but then we have to.
I'm talking of position in someone in authority. Or, I mean, is it the government we're going to hold responsible? Or are we going to, is it the party? Is it the security forces? Who should be telling us something as we speak now?
Of course, the government. That's why we have a government. The government is supposed to be the one.
Who should be out sending messages to all the media, recorded messages that we don't have any hand in this? Who should be insisting that those who are perpetrating this act be arrested? Who should be doing that? The government, right?
Yes, of course.
And it makes it worse that they would be the beneficiary, or that the governor at least would be the beneficiary and the party in power.
But silence in all of this also is a statement of sorts, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I believe that it is the law enforcement agencies that should be enforcing the law.
The law enforcement is not our government.
Yes.
They don't have a right to issue statements. They can issue statements
the government has issued a statement,
peace.
haven't they?
Well, with what's happening this morning, for a smart government or smart leadership, should they not be jumping in front of this? I always say, to make sure that they, one way or the other, change the narrative that's out there, and of course put these so-called thugs on their toes, or make sure that they scamper for safety. But if you keep quiet, what does that mean?
So yes, the government is responsible for ensuring there's order, right? Again, I'll refer to Uncle Jimi. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? You were sharing information from different commissioners of police and security agencies, saying how they were going to ensure that people could come out to vote and that people will have. So let us apportion responsibilities where it should be.
And what did I say at that time?
Supposed to be keeping the law and order.
What did I say at that time, Helen?
You said they were huffing.
They will huff and puff and won't blow the house down. With the statements you got from the police, you would have thought that these things like this wouldn't occur.
Yes, and then they would have grabbed at least 10 to 15 people by now.
This is a big security breach on a day like this. Because, and again, what if they tried to do all this and the people resisted physically? Where would we be?
Well, you can only resist if you have a large number, and people have decided to stay at home. And I mean, in fact, the more people hear these kind of threats, the more they are inclined to stay at home. I would imagine that if I was in my house and I heard somebody saying that if you don't want to vote for so and so, don't come out. Whether I wanted to vote for them or not, I will stay at home because, number one, I don't want to be caught in any crossfire. So everything has consequences, and people have the freedom to to choose how they react to it.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we can't even, one way or the other, decide how people should feel about these kinds of things. And I understand why Uncle Jimmy feels the way he feels, because
I feel the way I feel because I think of all of us here, I'm the one who has seen things like this happen, and I know where they ended. That is the part that bothers me. And I would have thought that people would have a sense of history. I mean, the APC is made up of people of different ages. There are elders there. They have their governing council made up of elders that we do respect. And it's a pity that this kind of thing will be ascribed to them. They should be worried, and they jolly well might be. It's early days yet, so we are not sure whether these are pockets of things, or this was decided by the party as a whole. But the way the whole thing has gone is quite embarrassing. And for those, like I said, some of them older than me, who have seen what happened in 66, 66, which ended up in the Civil War. I'm sorry I keep stating it, but I will. And I have no apologies. And those who feel offended by it, I'm sorry, there's nothing. I don't have apologies for you. We must let people know the real implication of what is going on. And this rain is not going to fall on one household. This rain will not fall on one household.
Well, this is more like a warning shot that you're sending to everyone, all concerned.
It's a warning shot to all concerned, especially the elders of the land who have seen where this kind of thing. These urchins they might not know the implication of what they're doing because they've not seen it. But for those who have seen it, and that's why I'm hoping this is not party policy, but it's pockets of the party that have taken it upon themselves.
Overzealous guys.
Yes, it's getting close because look, if there is a reaction, don't forget that at every point, the reporters and those writing in have been kind enough to remove the ethnic coloration, but we can't pretend that it's not there. Okay, we can't pretend that it's not there, and with the country that we have, the thread that holds this country together, believe you me, it is not any stronger than the thread that you women use to tie your hair or whatever. It's not any stronger, or they use for sewing. Because apart from, you see, when we had this happen in the 60s, there was no poverty. You get what I'm saying? There was no poverty. People were able to eat 3 square meals and so on and so forth. With this one that you can't even eat one meal.
You can't access your money.
You can't even, you can't even
you have to buy your money.
You have to buy your money. With these things, it just doesn't look good.
At all.
It doesn't look good. And we'd like people to have a sense of responsibility towards this. I would like to appeal to all those who are doing this in the name of whatever you worship, and in the name of this nation, in the name of us having an environment where at the very least, even though we can't eat, we have to buy your money, at least we can breathe. Do not plunge this country into chaos.
Okay, so Uncle Jimmy, I want to challenge you and Maryann, because there are people listening to you at home now, and they're feeling like, okay, where's the hope for the country? What can we do?
We have to go out and vote.
How can we change this?
You answered the question first.
We have to go out in our numbers to vote, because the truth is, if we stay at home, they have succeeded.
But how do you not stay at home when you see people wielding guns?
Mass men wielding guns.
Well, I think I'm going to call our newsroom. I need us to get the police spokesperson in Lagos on the phone. We need to get somebody on the phone from the police. We need to be able to speak about this issue before the 11 o'clock hour. So, guys, please, let's make it happen. SP Hundeyin should be on the call with us this morning. He needs to be able to explain to us. I mean, because you put out that statement yesterday, and today we're hearing people are wielding guns around the city, telling people who to vote for. We need to get the police spokesperson to talk on this issue as soon as possible. So let's make that happen. In the meantime, I want to go back to the phone lines and take your thoughts. We have just 2 minutes. Let me take one call and then a message. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the mandate. Yes.
Good morning. I'm calling from Bajulaye. It's been very, very crazy. We have talks everywhere coming out and threatening people to vote for the ruling party. Like, they literally stand with you at the booth that you must vote the ruling party at Bajulaye Junction, here around Falagoro.
And there are no security
Yaba
agencies?
area. No security agents. I've been trying to call the numbers that we have from Mr. Sheriff yesterday, the military numbers. They're not going through. They're literally, like, they're bringing those guys in all these Korokwe buses back to back. Like, they will tell you, if you're not voting for this ruling party, go back home. They're threatening people.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, people have to go back.
Wow. Thank you very much for calling.
That's what I've been calling since. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to try to speak to the police spokesperson on this particular matter. Maureen, our reporter, is on the line, but unfortunately, I don't think we have enough time to talk to Maureen. Maureen will have to wait for us for the next break. Right after that break, we'll get Maureen on the phone to tell us what's happening where she is. It's still the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Maryann. Okon. Jimi Disu is here in the studio, and of course our guest Helen is here and now analysing all of that's been happening this morning. It's put a dampener on a lot of people, but we cannot be the ones who would let the evil guys win, right? So we will go out and vote. If we must come out massively, even those of us who don't want to vote, we have to come out and protect our votes, right? We'll be back after this break.
Conversation, more talk, more right after this. Thinking of relocating to Canada? We've got exciting news for you. Canada needs newcomers to address labor shortages and demographic changes that threatens the country's future. That is why Thou Immigration Consultant Services Limited, based in Halifax, Canada, is inviting you for information sessions on Saturday, March 25th, 2023. A regulated Canadian immigration consultant will be physically present to help you explore options available to immigrate to Canada. Morning session, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. For those who want to study or work in Canada, afternoon session 1 to 3 p.m. For those who want to immigrate to Canada, evening session 4 to 6 p.m. This is for those who want to invest in Canada with pathways to Canadian citizenship. Venue, Lagos Oriental, Skyline Terrace Hall 2. They have also made provisions for virtual attendance of these events for those unable to attend in person. For further inquiries, please call 0703-138-7317. That is 0703-138-7317.
It's gotta be good, it's gotta be wholesome. Truly tasty, what sharing, nourishment to my body. My Hollandia yogurt, nourishing goodness for every moment, making my day delightful. Oh, my Hollandia yogurt. My Hollandia yogurt,
Hollandia yogurt, wholesome nourishment from your favorite brand.
With 3 spectacular debaters, Group C of the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions could be a fight to the finish. Emmanuel Nadi has only ever lost once to Tanvita Kaushik. She's here to prove that she can beat anyone on a good day. Nicholas Musokoya barely missed the August 2022 final, but gave us fireworks along the way. He would have met Fabian Chibundu in that final, but now they will lock horns at the Tournament of Champions. Fabian, the only boy champion, must fend off these 2 challengers if he wants to be champion of champions. This March, it's the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions on 99.3 Nigeria Info and Wazobia Max TV.
Welcome back to your #1 talk news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
race is on, and Nigerians will decide. People's voice and verdict.
They are not going to the ward. Nobody is collecting from any ward. I have been in a polling unit where the INEC officials, the party agents, and the voters are all complicit.
Citizens and their mandate.
People don't really know. Nigerians don't really know what governance is. They have described the process. It's really very seamless. I would want to believe that everyone will take advantage of this opportunity.
Nigeria Info Election Day Studios presents The Mandate 23. Minute-by-minute election day coverage, 36 states and the FCT. Sheriff Quadri, Jimi Disu, Ireti Bakare, Maryann Okon, Joyce Oyemwa, Sandra Ezekwesili, and Ufoma Egbamno with data analysis in real time. Date, Saturday, February 25th and Sunday, February 26th. Join the conversation live from 5 a.m. The Mandate 23. It's a marathon.
Officers. You talk.
The poor man steam again, they show him face for crime fighter. When rich man steam money, they no go see him face for crime fighter.
For what the government have made us to understand is that whatever news that come from the public that is against the government is fake.
Really talk.
Why are they turning their guns, their boots against the defenseless and harmless civilian populace? What is their problem?
Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It's still the Mandate 23, and we are still live on 99.3 Nigeria Info. We also are reaching you from Intimidation Crescent here in Victoria Island, Lagos. If you haven't gone out to vote, go out and vote. Nothing can stop us. So, you know, I like Nigerians. When you have that agri-die spirit, nothing will stop us. We will go out and vote. But the truth is, and I'm not going to stop saying it. This is the idea is to make sure that we don't come out and vote. And not coming out to vote means there's going to be a compromise of the numbers. And so if we all show up, how many of us can they possibly use a machete or guns on? I'm not saying that will happen. What they're doing is just gra. That's what we call IGG. If it comes down to it, 1,000 people at 3 polling units, how many of us can they kill?
Must anybody die?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I just like
nothing will happen. We have to come out in our numbers. If we have to do a whole Montgomery, Alabama hand holding over the bridge, we will do it so that we can vote.
I would rather the police or law enforcement.
Where is the police?
Come out.
Where is SP Hundeyin? Where is the Commissioner of Police in Lagos? Where is the police? Where's the army? Where is law enforcement? If we're hearing reports that these people are in collusion, who's speaking? Nobody's speaking to us.
Why should
the government is not speaking. Security agencies are not speaking. Nobody's saying anything. There's just a conspiracy of silence. Is this an election?
So why should people come out to vote, Uncle Jimmy? Sorry, why should people come out to vote if you are telling me that
which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I'm just we are discussing now. We are analyzing. I am a scholar, so you have to look at both sides of the argument. So if on one hand you're asking people to come out and vote, I am a strong advocate of that school of thought. However, what's happening on the other side? If people come out to vote and they are being intimidated,
we're going to think about our safety.
So you have to.
We're going to have to be a police unto ourselves, because our security agents, unfortunately, I hate that I'm saying this, have left us to our fate.
So stay
unfortunately.
Or let me put it a bit more nicely, so it sounds perfumed and pleasant to the ears. We're getting reports, verified to some extent, that it appears as if there might be conspiracy. One report that we have here says that, the soldiers wanted to intervene. Okay, then they got a call
from their boss,
and they to distance and left them to their fate. Where did we get this one? I think we got it from. Where did we? Let me read it here now. And people are actually frustrated, completely frustrated. What does Moshibi say? Okay, they have a video of some touts who are already caught with whatever, and okay, this one says Nigeria is a lawless country. Just this morning at Shangutedo, thugs disrupted the polling unit and soldiers came to stop them. Okay, immediately they got a call from their head and they left, and the thugs came back in full force to disrupt the voting process. Now it's going to get worse in the evening when coalition.
I would really want to know what that call means, because this is not the first time we're hearing that security agents want to intervene and then they get a call. This is also detail for when certain people who've broken the law have been caught in police nets and then a call comes from somewhere and then they're released.
Maryann, let me give you a graphic description. And the average Nigerian who runs into some kind of security problem, arrested or whatever, what does he do? He calls the police. So as the soldiers moved in to disrupt this one, maybe one of the guys made a call, said, I'll make a call and get back to you, and they withdrew and continued business as usual and backed everybody to the Philistines. This is beginning to appear like a high-level conspiracy.
It's very sad. Yeah. We have our correspondent Maryann joining us from Lagos Island. Maryann, where you are is very noisy. Is it possible to go to a less noisier place?
Okay, I'm moving away now.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay, is this better?
This is better. Go ahead. Where in Lagos Island are you?
I'm at Kole Polling Unit Ward RA15, Lagos Island. This is where the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is coming to cast his vote. Okay.
What's the situation like? And did the INEC officials come out early?
Yes, they were right on time, and a lot of people are already here, and they've already casted their votes. And I think right about now, everybody's just waiting on this the governor to come in. That's basically what's happening here.
Maryann, have you gotten any signal from government or spokespersons or the police about what's happening, the level of intimidation that's being experienced in different polling units in different parts of the state? Has there been any official statement about this?
Presently, right now, I think Lagos Island has been known to be one of a very notorious area, but so far this place has been very peaceful. We've not gotten any information on that around here, and if there is, I'm sure we'll get to find out. But presently, this place is peaceful. The exercise is going on well, and there's been no report of such incidents in this area.
Okay, so because Lagos Island is safe, okay, let me ask my question again. There have been reports about intimidation in several parts of the state today.
Okay.
Has the government or any representative of the government spoken about it?
No, I've not heard anything.
Will you be talking to the governor when he comes to that polling unit about the intimidation?
As soon as he arrives, I'm sure we'll throw that question to him.
Of course, we will be glad to call you back and get the response of the governor on that particular one.
All right.
Thank you very much, Maryann, for speaking with us there from Lagos Island. Interesting.
It's interesting because I'm not surprised that area where she is peaceful. It's you can see some ethnic profiling in what has happened, and so Lagos Island essentially minus the markets, most of the residents of the Yoruba stock, and of course, all efforts for reasons of optics would be made to look as if everywhere is peaceful. It would be nice if she could thoroughly drill the governor and get his reaction. Maybe he hasn't heard, we don't know. But it would be nice to drill him thoroughly and find out what his reaction is to this. At the end of this exercise, he would also have to do some peacemaking.
Yeah.
Because we can't run away from the ethnic side of things.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it progresses. We will see the subsequent reactions to all this. And also, we should all brace up for the consequences.
Okay. We see that the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu has casted his vote. I beg your pardon. In Ikeja, Lagos, we have videos showing him that as he and his wife were casting their votes this morning. But let's go back to the reports that we're getting. Abiodun Adedeji says, I just report voters' intimidation to police patrol team now. They say I have no right to report anything to them except INEC officials. Uncle Jimmy, he says, Maryann, where are we going in this country? I'm reporting from Igondo polling unit, open space markets 1, Igondo in Koshofe local government area of Lagos State.
So sad.
So that's for those who had any doubts at all. I don't think we should bother. I think it's now quite clear that there's some level of conspiracy in what is going on. I mean, anybody should be able to report. How can a policeman tell you that you can't report some disturbance going on?
So why did they give us the numbers? What's the importance of
you see that it was as if I knew, in all honesty, that this would happen. I'm gradually becoming a prophet of some sort. This is high level conspiracy. It's going to consume some people. Okay, it's going to consume some people. Where it will end, I honestly don't know. But I think it was Ellen that called my attention to the fact that it looks as if there's nowhere to go. There's nobody you can look up to. Definitely not even the clergy anyway, that you can look up to save this country. Except God descends from his height and comes to save us. We are in much bigger trouble and a bigger problem than we imagine, because the morning shows the day. So today it is the elections. What could be next? What kind of imposition would you expect next? So those who say that we are alarmists, good luck to them. We've seen it happen. We have seen it happen. When long before Abacha emerged as the president of this country, some of us had seen him from afar, that this guy had better not get near what we are talking about. Lo and behold, he got there, and you can see what has happened. There's a dangerous repeat, in the horizon, and heaven help us all. Yes.
Somebody here, Michael Okafor says, Uncle Jimmy, the election in Lagos State needs to be cancelled. APC thugs are stopping people from voting in many areas in Lagos where they lost last time. Lagos election should be done at another time with the presence of military men. This is not an election and it's not a democracy.
That might not help.
How? I mean,
from the report that we got, that they got a call, it might not help.
This is what they call in Yoruba Orobruku Pelerin.
Yes.
That means that you're looking at something bad.
Let me translate for you. Okay. Bad word with laugh.
With laughter.
That's direct. No, it was
okay, Pelerin.
Direct translation.
Because here I listen to everybody talking and encouraging us to go out and vote, to not be afraid that there will be alternative security. If almost 40% of the state does not vote, what are the consequences? What are the implications for the result? Is this going to be a true representation of the desires of the people? Is there a remedy? Because again, I work with time. It's still 10:15 and voting is supposed to stop at 2. So is there a way we can call all these people to order that people can come out and vote?
Who's we?
See, let me be honest with you. The horse has bolted in this election.
Where you go?
Very, very few people are going to be encouraged to go out now with all the stories that we have here.
But
very, very.
I mean, the
very
intimidators, the guys who were intimidating people to not come out and cast their votes, did that very early in the morning, and they're no longer roaming the streets because it's now daylight.
Because the deed has been done.
But then people can still come out and vote.
We encourage them to come out, but
many people have cast their votes already, haven't they?
The reality is that they just might not. Now, what are the worries that I have? The next constituency that is going to experience something like this is our own constituency, and that's the media. That's where it's going next, and it will go on and on and on until it gets to a climax, because apparently these people have thought it out. They have damned the consequence. For them, the end justifies the means. They are not willing to hear any argument whatsoever. Yes, and he's going to make our own job. Maryann, we better be prepared.
Why is the threat coming to me?
No, exactly. No, what I mean is the job of you and I is going to make it much, much, much more difficult.
Because the people,
boring.
Because of course the people will transfer the aggression to us. Of course, the frustrations will come to us.
All sides
yes.
will transfer the aggression.
All right. Well, SBM Intelligence has sent us some information. SBM Intelligence obviously partners with us on election issues, and they just told us that in SBM's first data story of the day, turnout does not always fall in Nigerian governorship elections. In 2015 and 2019, turnout rose in Abia, Ebonyi, Plateau, and Taraba. That's in 2015 and in 2019. Again, they have a report that polling unit officers in polling unit 023 in Etiosa have moved the physical location of the unit from where it was during the presidential election to a more secluded area without notifying the voters. I'll reiterate the polling unit. Polling unit 023 in Etiosa. Polling unit 023 in Etiosa. They have moved it physically from where it used to be, especially during the presidential election, and they've taken it to a more secluded area without notifying voters. Oh, well, we have a correction sent back into us. It says it's polling unit 027 at the Ajiron Primary School 3 at Agungi.
Okay, now we are hearing this. This is from Ikeja. I got this from a contact, and this says, a woman is here threatening us in our unit 007 to go back to our states and vote, and that we must vote APC. This is happening 007 in Ikeja. Yes.
Our reporter Abuchi has sent us a message saying that huge amounts of, I'm sure he means heavy amounts of army in Wilma at Jegunle after touts were shooting up and down. They told me not to take videos, and they even advised me to leave, but everything is good there now.
Why would you say he shouldn't take videos? He has to file a report. You see, go and listen to Fela's Army. Give you an idea. This is from somebody who is home alone, and that you see, these are the things that worry me. Home alone, and has sent series of messages and talking about, say, you're spot on and so on and so forth. Do they want to set this state ablaze? You can only push people so far, and so on and so forth. And because she's a bit elderly, she says this is beginning to remind me of 1966.
Someone told me that you should stop spreading fear.
I'm not spreading fear. I'm telling you the truth. I don't believe. I don't
stop spreading.
You cannot have a cancer.
That's what they want.
You cannot have a cancer, and I will call it an ordinary wound. If you don't want to listen to the truth, you don't listen to me when I talk. We have to prepare our people for the truth and not be caught unawares.
And how can this be reversed?
I think I'm going to keep saying it and sounding like a broken record.
Yes.
We all must come out and vote. We have to come out in our numbers. They have done their worst, they think, but you will come out, and dare them to. We will all come out.
Well, I haven't said people shouldn't come out. I've just...
No. You obviously are analyzing the situation on ground.
Yes.
But then, of course, our job is to continue to tell people that all hope is not lost. Come out and vote. I got some reports here saying Ejoma Primary School, Owalero, Ika North, Ward 2, Unit 8, 17, and 5 in Delta State. INEC officials arrived there at 6:30 a.m. Accreditation and voting commenced at 8:30 a.m. And the governor just cast his vote at exactly 9:49 a.m.
Which governor is this now?
Delta State governor.
What's his name?
Governor
again?
Okowa.
Governor Okowa.
Okowa.
He's the sitting governor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Former vice presidential candidate.
Yes.
This one says, this is the second polling unit I've been to. Gbemisola Adenubi Okota off Agor Palace Way. The polling number is 07. I'm sure you mean polling unit number is 075. They're yet to set up and voters are waiting and getting frustrated. And this was sent in at about 10:10.
Oh, they're even yet to set up.
Yes. Yes.
You can see this is a multi-attack. They're yet to set up at all.
There was a polling unit that came, the voting started at 6 p.m. during presidential election.
Yeah.
I know a polling unit.
Yes.
But you see, the question is, in Okota, somewhere, which I'm sure is coming from the same source, in Okota, some has started as early as 7. And this is 10:18. These ones are even yet to set up. Yet to set up means maybe all you have there are tables and chairs. The people are the officials are even yet to arrive. Yet they came from the same whatever.
Yeah.
So the good thing about the good thing about this one now is that you cannot hold INEC responsible for this. Do you understand? You cannot hold INEC responsible for this. So who would you hold responsible, if I ask?
Security agencies.
No. For POs not setting up.
Not setting up.
No.
I'm talking for this crisis.
For the crisis, security agencies.
People.
Security agencies. They're not doing
because
But then, Uncle Jimmy, there's also that argument of how many security agencies do we have? Don't forget, these elections are happening simultaneously across the country. Yeah. We have one police officer to 500 people. How many of them can be everywhere at the same time?
In 28 states.
Well, if that was the case, then you shouldn't have been assuring us if we're going to have militias. Look, we need to be objective. If we have an objective, if we can't meet it, then do something else. If it was to set up militias, but landlords association or whatever, do something and not come back later after you have huffed and puffed and come back to say I couldn't blow the house down because I couldn't find wind. We shouldn't be doing things just to fulfill all righteousness. Like those who are saying that, how am I supposed to coat it? To coat it in with sugar and honey, only for you to put it in your mouth and discover how bitter it is. I'm a realist, and one of the problems, and I think it's also a bit of an African problem, is we try to quote things and cover up. We try to quote things and make them look. The truth is, let's tell ourselves the truth. The optics don't look good. They don't look good at all. They're frightening. I'm taken by surprise. I never predicted something like this would happen. Honestly.
What's in your left pocket? He didn't tell you.
No, my left pocket didn't tell me. I never predicted. I never thought that something like this. I thought that, look, okay, politicians will play tricks here and there, but it wouldn't be as brazen as this. This is outright brazenness. This is like a political coup.
Uncle Jimmy, as we were speaking and you talked about militias,
yes,
it reminded me of a documentary I watched about Mexico on Netflix.
Yes.
And how non-state actors and militias and groups and gangs took over Mexico. This is how it started.
Yes. But we are close to it.
Well, I hope not.
Well, I hope that this is not where we're heading. I hope that we're going to pivot away from it.
Go there.
If you can have gangs of people masked coming to tell you don't go out to vote, go back. This is worse than armed robbery.
We didn't see it coming.
Really?
So yes. But
it happened in February, the 25th of February.
But we have received assurances. We have since received assurances.
And they're not, I don't think it was as brazen.
But we did receive assurances before February 25, didn't we?
Well, not at the same level.
But even if it happened before, this level, you see, and it's spread all over. And it's brazen.
It's systematic.
What you had before was ballot snatching. And I think seeing that had failed, with the beavers and the IREV or whatever it is, even as it was not working, but with if you listen to Atedo Peter Side's analysis, it is now seen that that is a difficult route to go.
Hmm.
The best way is don't let anybody's finger enter the beavers.
So the objective now is that, you know what, let's not even need to have to alter
We don't need to alter results. You know, and this is what I call a political coup, because you're trying to force yourself into governance.
And I'm wondering to myself, if you're such a great candidate, if you're such a good leader, you should obviously allow your antecedents to speak for you. You should allow the things that you do, your good work, to speak for you. You should allow the people to decide who votes. But if you obviously are so desperate to get into that office, does this not smack of all sorts of corruption?
When you talk of political leaders
and bad intent,
when you talk of political leaders, for God's sake, or like Adedeji will say, for crying out loud, you talk of statesmen. Would you imagine Nelson Mandela getting involved in a thing like this? A person that the Queen of England calls by his first name. She never calls anybody but her husband by his first name, and she was the one who told Mandela, "Call me Elizabeth."
Oh wow!
You must have. If you don't have statesmen like that, that's what you get. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you don't have statesmen, people who will say, "My name must not be written in this kind of exercise." There could be members of the party now who might be saying to themselves, and indeed saying to the party, "I have to leave this place."
Are you sure that will happen in Nigeria?
I'm saying there could be. You need to give them some allowance
in Nigeria.
Yes, because in all honesty, it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't reflect. That kind of leadership you need to lead a nation. Must a leader force himself on people? The answer is no. Okay, even if it does, it must be for good purpose that you have seen.
Yeah, but what you take by force originally obviously is not yours, and there's no decency in that. There's no democracy in it.
Do we have a Lee Kuan Yew coming? Definitely not.
What we see here is voter suppression, actually.
Yes, it is.
It's a different dimension of voter suppression.
This thing goes beyond voter suppression. It's not the appropriate word. This is a rape on democracy.
Okay.
It's a rape on democracy. You are denied. You are told to go back. You are not going to cast your vote. It's as bad. I feel like a woman who has been raped. That you're not giving me the chance. I mean, I would feel that you're not giving me the chance to exercise my franchise. If you go rigging at the other end, I would know that well in the first instance, but now you're telling me to go back.
That's really worrisome. Have you seen this? Uncle Jimmy, saying that you're an ancestor, have you seen this kind of thing in Nigeria before?
No.
Let's go to read some messages, because in a few minutes we're going to have someone from SBM Intelligence to join us in the analysis, and we're on the home stretch of this particular round of conversations on election day. Somebody here says, my name is Godfrey Ogie, polling units 39, 59, 60, 61, 114. The Agberos have taken over Ojodu Bega. On every polling unit, no other party can vote except the APC. No Labour Party agent anymore in this polling unit because of thugs. I'm a polling unit agent. I left my unit because of that. My children are still young. This is not a country. There's no security at all, he says. That's quite unfortunate.
There's this message I'm getting for somebody that I know so well. And can vouch, and he says that Uncle Jimmy, police just stopped a lady in Ikoyi, and asked her that, and they were making reference to her ethnic origin.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped her, and they were making because I'm on radio, I'm being very careful. They were making a veiled reference to her ethnic origin, and so they told her to go back. Yes, just got this. This is
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Group E prices first battles between three fighters. Eto'o dazzled us last May, but was stopped by Hamid Olarawaju. If he wants to settle that score, he'll need to emerge from this group. But will Stephanie Amber let him? The August runner-up is here to prove she could have won it all. But to be the girl, she has to beat the girl. Esther Bewaji's fans will love that Group D debates on Thursdays because they say Thursdays are for legends. She smashed scoring records on her cruise to the championship in May, and all that is left between her and the 3 other champions are the 2 challengers in this group. This March, it's the I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions on 99.3 Nigeria Info FM and Wazobia Max TV.
Oh, the only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. I know they waste time to wash. I thought my clothes have the best, so why go less? You can't wash a lot with a little Viva. Use Viva. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Use Viva. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever.
Viva detergent, a quality cleaning powder from Aspira.
Golden Moon, so special to us. Golden Moon, so special to us. I can't afford a day without this goodness in the bowl, giving energy to make it stay golden. Golden Moon, so special to us.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
The race is on, and Nigerians will decide. People's voice and verdict.
They are not going to the ward. Nobody is collecting from any ward. I have been in a polling unit where the INEC officials, the party agents, and the voters are all complicit.
Citizens and their mandate.
People don't really know. Nigerians don't really know what governance is. They have described the process. It's really very seamless. I would want to believe that everyone will take advantage of this opportunity.
Nigeria Info Election Day Studios presents The Mandate 23. Minute-by-minute election day coverage, 36 states and the FCT. Sheriff Quadri, Jimi Disu, Ireti Bakare, Maryann Okon, Joyce Oyemwa, Sandra Ezekwesili, and Ufoma Egbamno with data analysis in real time. Date, Saturday, February 25th and Sunday, February 26th. Join the conversation live from 5 a.m.
Back 30 minutes gone past the 10 o'clock hour. It's still the mandate 23. All of Nigeria again supposed to vote in governors and members of houses of assemblies across the 36 state nation. And we are live here in Jimi, Victoria Island, Lagos, giving you information about what's happening in Lagos State because that's our priority, of course, and then bringing you information from other states across the federation, courtesy of our correspondents who are spread across the country. My name is Maryann Okon.
My name is Jimi Disu. A message just came in again from Allen Okwebi Primary School.
Okay.
And it says, JD, thugs are many today. It's like I won't be able to wait. I'm so scared. No single police presence here.
Wow.
That's Okwebi.
That's worrisome.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, that's a baby.
All right, let's take some calls because a lot of people have been saying we should take their calls. We want to hear from you. Please try as much as possible to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call us and stick to the point. If you're listening to us from outside your Skype, Facebook.com/99.3. We're also live on YouTube. Of course, Nigeria Info 99.3. We'd like to hear from you. Are you outside? Are you voting? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm just coming from my police unit.
What's your name,
Unit 28, in Betemeta
Okay.
West. So I've just gone there to, unlike the last time we voted, there was so much people. So I didn't go on time because I took for almost 3 hours to get accredited then. But today, I delayed because of that lengthy time. Even that day that I went, I was able to be accredited because of my age. But today, I got there was nobody on the queue. I went there, I got accredited, picked to the front to go and vote. These boys came to the place I will vote, I will thumbprint. I asked if I do not thumbprint for APC, I should go home. Or they will judge, I will see what they will do to me here. There was one single policeman, he was not even with a button. He was not even with a button. Wow. So after looking around, there was nobody, so I had to go home. I didn't vote. So when I was going, the electoral, those INEC people asked me, we have accredited, you must vote. I said, where will I vote? They said, you can go and come just for your life. I said, okay, they can complete for me. And I left and went home. I'm at home now.
We didn't mean to laugh, but that was really funny. Well, I'm so sorry that you have to go home without casting your vote. And
my finger have been marked. My finger have been marked as somebody that have voted, but I didn't vote. There was nobody. They say if you are just once you are coming, they say if you are not voting for us, just go. And when they were saying it, when I got there, I thought they were playing. So I just got accredited. They gave me the paper. They went to the polling booth before me.
Wow.
And was standing there. That if I don't vote for them, you see the boys, all of them there. There's no. It was just all the boys. There were this man who came and he had no he had no voter's card. He had that. Is it the one that will not permit you to be accredited by Guber.
Yes.
And the INEC official told the man, we can't accredit you because this is how you vote. Other people that were just moving from polling unit to polling unit. Don't see anybody on the line, unlike before.
I'm so sorry. I must apologize for what you're experiencing. I mean, it's not my place to apologize, but I have to because none of us envisaged that this was going to be the fate of voters, let alone after what we saw on February 25. We were hoping. But again, shame to INEC, shame to security agencies, shame to the government of the day, because unfortunately, this is what we ordered versus what we got. You promised us, you gave us lofty promises that this elections will be a game changer. Oh, yes, it is a game changer in your thuggery. In the level of insecurity, yes, of course.
So, I mean,
and posterity would always remember all these governors and the president for this kind of shoddy and very tacky elections that they put up.
It's worrisome.
It's very sad. So why did we then have the campaign? So you can now see why some of the things you need to do to endear yourself to the people, you can now see why the people were snubbed, no debates and so on and so forth. But that's this last minute effort to legitimize what you already knew you were going to do. Because the reports we are getting here are directed at the APC directly, and then also they have an ethnic coloration, and that's where all that is coming from. But it's not over yet.
There's
still time. The election is going on. Not just that, there's bound to be an aftermath. How acceptable this would be to generality of the masses, we honestly can't predict. Remember that if you are not affected this time, your turn will come because the precedent has been set. So my advice is for us to quickly get up and resist this kind of...
Yes, we must not take it sitting down.
Yes, with this kind of volume. It's the first time. And if you think that, it's just elections, I didn't want to go anyway, it's going to come bit by bit at you. it's going to come bit by bit. We're creating monsters.
Yeah.
Monsters. We're creating monsters. Now you're going to have more younger people joining these various groups that are becoming handy, but they'll have nothing to do. Because there'll not be another election for 4 years, they have to turn their minds on something else. This is how the Boko Haram, I repeat, thing started.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Degenerate into that.
Degenerate into that.
I hope we can go back to proper governance.
But if these guys, it's going to be difficult. They are going to. They have a sense of
entitlement.
A sense of entitlement that they are part of the government. These guys generally might not even want to work at all. Just be fed. For how long can you continue to maintain them?
It's not sustainable.
As long as it's not sustainable, they're going to turn either to or on the people that sponsored them in the first place.
Somebody just sent us a picture with 5 fingers on his face. His name is Anna. He says, "Lagos, see my face. They slapped the hell out of my face because I'm Igbo. They pushed me out of the polling unit because they said a certain party was the only party allowed."
Oh no.
This is not a young person. This is
unacceptable. I hope that somebody would step in and call.
It's 10:38. The governor has voted or is yet to vote.
We still have about 4
hours. We
need
need to hear something from the government of the day, because this is Lagos. This is where we are. This is where Nigerian Info is. We need to hear something first from the government or a spokesperson of the government speaking about this issue. If not, these people still are going to have the upper hand. They'll keep doing what they're doing right now.
It's going to be. I wonder what effect it's going to have now, since it is this widespread.
Yeah.
So this is not an accident happening in a neighborhood. This is widespread, and unfortunately, most of the reactions we got from Lagos, I am sure that Ogun State might not be any different. I am almost sure of that.
Okay.
And so. The bigger question now is for everybody to. You have somebody there. Okay.
Yes. We have our reporter Yvonne Okaifo. She's joining us from Ijesha. Yvonne, good morning.
Maryann, morning to you.
Morning. What's happening in Ijesha? Give us some update.
Well, voter turnout is abysmal. The turnout isn't as great as it was during the presidential election. A lot of voter apathy could sense in the air. The polling unit I visited at Itire didn't really commence voting until 9. As a matter of fact, at 8:42 a.m., INEC officials were setting up. And at 8:48 a.m., more INEC officials had only arrived. So voting didn't start until 9:02 a.m. Apart from that, not many people turned out to vote. At the time I sent in my report, not many people had turned out to vote. However, I could see a lot of scruffy-looking men just, loitering at that polling unit. In fact, one walked up to me, looked me in the face, and uttered the words, "They play, just they play."
Wow.
Indeed,
It's tough. It's really tough. Were you able to speak to any voter to find out how, why they came out against the odds? Because we're hearing that there's a lot of voter suppression and intimidation around the city today.
Unfortunately, I couldn't speak to any voter because I didn't want to give any of these scruffy-looking men the impression that, just for safety reasons, really. So I went there as an observer, a silent observer. It's a little sensitive this time of the voting cycle, especially in the Ijesha axis. So for safety reasons, I just observed and saw what was going on there. A lot of the young people there didn't go to vote. Many of them were just hanging around their fellow young men, smoking marijuana and just loitering, really. As a matter of fact, one person believed to be perhaps an agent, or I don't know, working for one of these political parties, kept saying, "We don't win already. No, talk too much. No need to fight. We don't already win," in his words.
Well, that's quite unfortunate. But stay safe, Yvonne. Thank you very much for giving us that update. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Maryann.
All right. Well, let's go to Twitter, but before we get to another of our correspondents who's on standby, Kayode Okyowo here on Twitter says, "Good morning, Uncle Jimmy. Quick info. My polling station at Ikota, Etiosa, the situation here is that the indigents locked both entrances and refused to allow a particular tribe to come inside the primary school to vote. Oluwa Nishola says, I'm at polling unit 10, Temidire Olorun Shogo Agbado.
Olorun Shogo.
Oh my God. Have mercy, my Lagosians. It's Okeodo LCDA in Alimosho local government area. He says, we're still waiting for electoral officials. While coming from my house at Tiyanokwaja, most polling units don't have officers on the ground where people are there waiting for them. Another person says, sir, Ikota community, the so-called indigenes are busy fighting Nollywood star Choma Akpota at the Ikota Primary School polling station. Of course, she's obviously videoing. I saw her video calling out INEC officials for collusion with the community people, and then, of course, I'm sure something else.
I someone will rescue her. So you got the poor girl. Somebody
says at Isheri Oshun polling unit 102, INEC not on site as at this hour. This one says, Uncle Jimmy, you can see that these are state intimidation, state-staged intimidation. If MJ Luomo, a state agent, is threatening Nigerians today, thugs are taking that to the polling units. Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu, I beg your pardon, must be held accountable. He says, I rest my case. That's from Okusadro. This one says, good morning, Uncle Jimmy. We're being threatened in our streets here in Ilasomaja area that if you are not voting for the APC, you have to stay in your house. Olusegun says, polling unit 102 is Sharon, Lagos, just received INEC officials. That's just at 9 a.m. Okay. This one says, Maryann, why are you encouraging people to go out and vote when their lives are in danger? Well, our reporter from Agor Palace, Tania, just joined us. Hello, Tania. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tania. What exactly is happening in Agor Palace, and what have you experienced so far?
Okay, I'm currently at Adibrega Street off Agor Palace Way, Ushudi Solo local government area. That's where the polling unit is actually situated, with the polling number 075. I was also able to observe different polling units around this area, like at Ido with 5 streets, with the polling number 074. The street is polling number 82. Well, very important from Adibrega Street. I mean, the time is about 10:45, if I'm not being mistaken.
Yes.
And they are yet to start. The INEC officials, no one is here. Even security personnel, no one is here. So basically, the voters are just venting and quite frustrated at the moment. And funny enough, this is also happening at the other polling units I've been to. Like, I've been to about 4 polling units just this morning, and nothing has happened. But the funniest thing is actually happening around Unilarin Street. The voters in this particular polling unit were advised, or should I say were told, I don't want to use the word authorized, but they were told to vacate and be directed to another polling unit for some reasons that they don't know about. So currently the voters are protesting that they demand an explanation for the sudden change of location. And the security personnel in this polling unit and the only INEC official in this polling unit is not even saying anything. So basically, the voters...
Oh, Tanya, Tanya, are you still there?
I think she's gone.
Tanya, I really wish you could tell us, but from what she's saying, even the INEC official, the security agents, are tongue-tied. What is happening is somewhat inexplicable from their perspective, because I'm trying to understand. And this is not the first time we're hearing that polling units have been moved from where they're supposed to be originally. SBM Intelligence had sent us a message saying that, yes, the polling unit in some parts of the state was moved without the knowledge of the people who were voting at that polling unit, and they were unable to tell to tell us why that happened. So it's incredible. But we have a message here. Someone says, I'm in my polling unit in Ado Primary School in Badore. Turnout is a far cry from the massive turnout I witnessed during the presidential election. 2 guys amongst the APC supporters here stand out, openly threatening voters who don't want to vote for the APC to leave. 2 policemen are here but are saying nothing. I'm ignoring them and exerting my focus while I'm here. I'm here being... Okay, you mean you're here to vote. Okay. Thank you very much for your message. Fortune Abel sent us that one. Of course, he's sending us a voice note saying that I'm guessing he's recording them because he's saying another one came to make this announcement while I was busy typing the first message, and he says, "Shame on these guys."
So sad. It's really worrisome.
It's sad.
People should just stay safe. I think whilst it's good to go out and vote, you really have to protect yourself. That would be my message to people. You know? You don't want to expose yourself.
You have to do. You have to do it with sense. Yeah. Yes. You know. Michael here from Lekki Ararami says. Ararami town, no other party is allowed to vote. Any results from Ibejuleki should be nullified, he says.
I'm also getting some videos from Fadei, and look at that, the videos. The thugs are roaming the streets, and of course, I guess
obviously the person that's videoing is videoing from their balcony.
Yeah, safely, not video. You need to use the word safely.
Safely from their balcony. So, as much as we'd say that these are rumors, we're getting videos to show that this is happening in real time. This one says, it's a shame to the president-elect for all of that which is going on in this state. It's a shame to the governor as well. I wonder what the international observers who will be reporting now. This is a big shame to Nigeria. Mike from Ikorodu sent us.
And then here from Amuwa Dofintu, we have this video. They're even breaking cars and so on and so forth and fighting all over. I think that those who are perpetrating this thing have probably shot themselves in the foot by the enormity.
Yes.
By the enormity of it, and I don't think. I suspect that this might not hold.
It looks more like they've thrown caution to the wind. They're not even bothered.
They've done it in an uncoordinated manner, and.
But Uncle Jimmy, these things always have a way of getting out of hand. Before you know it, there's going to be a fight between these groups of thugs, and before you know it, it get out of hand.
Well, I think what we should be telling people at this point is that whilst it's good to vote, you should also be
please do it safely.
Safe. Yes, you should stay
safely.
You have to.
Oh, so you have changed your mind,
Uncle Jimmy? I work with evidence.
Really? No, she's the one.
I told you that I analyze things.
But no, she's the one. She's the one.
I'm not backing down. People should go out and vote. But I'm saying do it safely. I'm not saying go and stand in front of the thugs. That's not what I'm saying. That would be a silly thing for me to do.
So what is this wise thing that you want to say now?
Do it safely.
Oh, stay safe.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, I mean that's. I agree with you.
COVID, they will say stay safe.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah, I think right now it's important that everybody out there listening should stay safe.
Smart Odudu is calling us from. Where exactly are you calling us from, Smart? You're calling us via Skype. Smart.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling us from?
I'm actually calling from Hamilton, Canada.
Okay.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy, Miriam. And,
morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Fine. I have been following your analysis in the studios. I've been listening to what's been happening from the calls and messages that has been coming in. It's really, really sad. Uncle Jimmy has said it. He said it while I was on my way to work. And that's where it's going to end up. You see your constituency, that is the media. You are next in the next dispensation. Right now, you guys, your hands are tied to an extent. You are going to be shackled. Just watch it. It's sad, but we pray for Nigeria. We pray for our country. We pray that God delivers the country. But that is the direction it's heading. Maryann, you keep saying, go out and vote. It's like when the government was saying, when they attack them in those communities in the north, in the southeast, everywhere, defend yourself. But yet, you defend yourself. Who takes a knife to a gunfight? You defend yourself with what? Let people just stay safe if they have to stay safe. If they want to install a governor in any state, let them install. People should not risk their life because they want to show that they are not cowards. It's sad. Very extremely sad. It's painful that you are here seeing how things are run, and back home, your own fatherland, is directly the opposite. This is the worst election I have seen since '99. I must say it. Good day, guys.
Thank you very much for calling.
I'll still continue to work. I'll still continue to listen to you guys. Thank you for bringing it to us who are not there.
That's if some of us don't come knocking your door in Canada.
In Canada, say, take us in, please.
Uncle Jimmy, I'm very, very happy to have you here.
Yes. We'll say, please, help us, open the door for us. I want to take a quick call from Bodunye Ajayi quickly, and then we're going to wrap things up here. Hello, good morning. Bodunde, can you hear me? Good morning. Bodunde.
Morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling us
Bodunde.
from? You have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm watching you guys live on YouTube.
All right, go ahead.
All right, good morning, Uncle JD and everyone.
Hey, Bodunde, how are you?
I just want to remind these people who are perpetrating this evil to, yesterday. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You have 30 more seconds. Go ahead, quickly.
Sorry, yesterday, Putin was indicted for war crimes. So I just want them to remember that there's always payday, like Uncle JD always says. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Bodunde.
It's very apt.
Yes.
Very apt.
Very apt. Tana, you're going to have to wait for us to go for a quick break. When we come back to wrap things up, I don't even think we have time to do that.
No, we don't have time.
We have to say our goodbyes right now. Miss Helen, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Not under the best circumstances, but hey, what can we do? We're fighting for democracy, aren't we?
I'll still try and go and vote. I will still try.
Yeah, I'm going to vote. Uncle Jimmy, it's been a pleasure. I love doing this with you.
Even the rubbing of your hands on my shoulders cannot take away the sadness.
I know.
The sadness.
I'm just trying to.
It's sad for you to be experiencing something like this that we would say of other banana republics. Very sad.
It's very sad, but this is where we wrap things up. Of course, at 11, we're going to have Ireti Bakare and Ufoma Igbamuno, our news manager, on the show. The mandate continues. And right after that, we will have Sandra Zekosili taking on the mantle. My name is Maryann Okon. Here's Jimi Disu. Yes, follow me on social media, MIMIEYO, and give me more information from wherever you are. Twitter, Instagram, MIMIEYO. Let's keep the faith up, Lagos, and of course, across the country. Good morning.
Be careful because I'm not sure of the facilities here.
Oh, I understand. But don't worry. Ernest is your guy.
Ernest? Who's Ernest?
Ernest Liver Salt is your ultimate run-to product that gives fast and effective relief from heartburn, constipation, and indigestion. It dissolves fast and works even faster. It comes in delicious orange, lemon, and plain flavors.
In that case, waiter!
Ernest Liver Salt, your surefire solution to stomach discomfort. Available in all pharmacies nationwide.
Oh, the only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. I know they waste time to wash. I thought my clothes have the best, so why go like?